Hello. What's up? We've got a whole pile of people that'll hopefully flow over from Eric's stream. Props to Eric. Mad shout out to that guy for sending some people my way. Much appreciated. Eric is a kind-hearted soul, and he does a lot to help pick up people's morale in the hobby. So thanks to everybody here. We're gonna roll in here. There's a bunch of people coming in. Much appreciated. Again, thanks Eric. Thanks to Mitch and Tanner over at Scruffy City Aquatics. Those guys put on they've been at it for a few weeks now. And if you're into plants, those guys have done some excellent work, really presenting some information on planted tanks at a very understandable level while still getting to touch on some really important topics. So that's awesome. We have a ton of people flowing in here. Thanks for taking the time out of your day. The intent was not to lure people in with free stuff, but free stuff is definitely motivational, right? So I'm going to run through the list in a minute here. Once we get some people in here, we're going to let some people roll in because there's a lot of you guys tonight. And for anybody that is interested in chatting, you are more than welcome to join the stream. In fact, I would love to have you up on the stream so we can talk and interact a little bit more. I did pin the link over there. The chat. The chat is somewhere. Okay, so that way, this way, over there, that way, over to the chat. There's a link. It's a StreamYard link. Go ahead and click that and come up on the chat. Let's talk. We've got some things to talk about. I've been working in the fish room a lot myself lately, kind of getting back into the groove of things. I've been home. I've been hanging out with wife and kid, having a good time, and I've been trying to get back to things that make me happy. Obviously, like my job makes me happy, and my wife and kid make me happy, and my fish tanks make me happy. Now, sometimes we can do things and get involved in things that we enjoy and make us happy, and we have a good time doing, and they bring us pleasure. But sometimes we get caught up in things, right? So I'm working. I'm trying to get back to my roots a little bit and get down to the real reason why I do some things that I do. And we'll get into that in a little bit here. I see a bunch of familiar faces popping in, some not so familiar faces. And it's a pleasure to have you. For those of you coming over from the rock pile, thanks a ton. Thanks to Eric for sending everybody my way. Make sure you go check out Eric's channel. I'll drop that in the link. That is Eric Wyrock. If you're not familiar, he's been up and coming in the hobby and big in the community and really pushing positivity and learning and just building the community. So it's awesome to see. So much appreciated to Eric. Can't thank you enough. I've got a couple moderators in here that are helping me out. I'm going to throw some names out there. I might throw some links out there. I'll try to post them in the chat. If not, if you guys have a spare second, that would be much appreciated. Very, very much appreciated. I'm going to go ahead and run through some folks we got in here, right? So Kenny from Aquatic Biotope Creations. Kenny is an awesome dude. If you're halfway interested in native or not interested in natives at all, still go check out his channel. He does some awesome stuff. If you're into rainbow shiners, a lot of people have been talking about rainbow shiners lately. Go check out Kenny over at Aquatic Biotope Creations. He's got some videos on spawning, super cool setups. Amateur Aquatic Addiction, Kyle, ATC Aviator. Sometimes pilots get lost and they need a little direction, and that's what we have initial vectors for. And Kyle is great at that. Ian over at Atkins Nature Aquariums. Ian is a young dude coming up in the hobby. I followed his journey through his saltwater tank the past couple years, and that's actually what's inspired me. You guys know I've been talking a little bit lately about setting up a saltwater tank again. And you guys can thank Ian for that. So shortly here, I've been working on some videos and stuff, getting some things on order so I can make this happen. We're going to go through a little bit of my own saltwater build. Beta Aquatics, howdy, big shrimpin'. Brooklyn Bell, Glad to have you. Chris Aquazone, Daniel Velez, Kenny E from Dan Aquatics is in the house. Double D from DD's Fin Dan. Eric, thanks for stopping by, buddy. Thanks for all the help tonight. Jenna P, 2005, Jennifer Weaver, Lady Rorschach, Lee Wilcox from Aquariums and Three Cats, Lonnie Looney Tunes, Mark Sterlson, good day, sir. Master Aquatics, Eduardo, Lowry Monster Fish Gal is taking home some plants from the Scruffy City Aquatic stream earlier. If you weren't in that, Mitch and Tanner were in there talking about removing some algae. Super cool stuff. Go check out Mitch and Tanner. Don't hesitate over there. Those are some good young dudes. They're getting some club stuff going, and it's super cool to see what they're coming up with. Oink Master Supreme, Paul Sotero, Brian from Peplin Creeks, Priscilla M from Swiss Aquatics. I've got a bunch of her artwork downstairs. We might even give away a little bit of artwork tonight. We'll see. Sky Dancer, Mandy, the Zen Ginger, thank you. Vibes, Xanadudu, all the lurkers, all the guys catching the replay. I'm going to do my best to keep up with chat. We got a lot of people in here. I'm not used to this. I haven't had 40 people in a stream in a long time. So, again, feel the love. Thanks for everything. Thanks for supporting me. I know it's been a little bit of, up and down through the past couple of years as I started streaming, and I was putting out content and able to stream regularly. And then, life got busy and fish tanks kind of went to the side and work kind of took over. And I got busy with the wife and the kid, and family comes first for me, obviously. So family and then work and fish tanks. So getting around to everything back in the hobby and moving along. And it's just super awesome to be a little bit more involved lately. So Kenny, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, man?
How you doing?
Oh, I'm all right. And you?
Good. Not too bad. So got to fly airplanes today, so that's always a good day. Weather's beautiful. And kind of getting back into the swing of things of, making a little bit of content a little more regularly and being able to stream and hang out with folks as time allows. So definitely a pleasure. And luckily for me and luckily for these guys, you've been, part of the thing that's helped inspire me to get going back in a little bit different direction that I was going before. So Thanksgiving's coming up. We show our thanks. I'd like to thank you, Kenny, for helping me kind of find my way back to what originally kind of got me going into tanks a little bit and helping me with saltwater stuff. Because saltwater stuff is super cool. It's really intimidating. But it's not that bad. I'm getting back into it, and it'll be a good old time.
Go ahead.
So what's new with you, man? What have you been up to?
Not much. Working a lot. We're all out in Buffalo for a couple days.
Okay.
They got 6 feet of snow in 2 days.
I saw that. That was crazy.
Yeah. They worked like 70 hours over the weekend.
Right. Did they get that snow while you were over there?
Yeah, that's why I was there.
Okay. Oh, so busting your ass, cleaning some snow up, huh?
Yeah, I think in 4 days I worked 70 hours.
Ooh, making money.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you were able to get your car fixed in time for that.
Not yet.
Okay.
Needs the problem with it is it needs a new head gasket, but it's got like 213,000 miles on it.
Okay.
So every place I've called to like replace the head gasket, they're just telling me that I'm better off replacing the engine.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's going to cost more than replacing the head gasket. But I understand what you're saying. But
right.
I don't have that kind of
money.
But we're in the process. My wife and I are in the process of buying a brand new car.
Okay.
And trying to find a brand new car. So we'll be doing that, I think.
It's not easy. So
yeah.
Car prices these days are absolutely insane. But
yeah.
What do you do? Shelby asked what snow is that you speak of. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, our friends in the deep south, and by deep south I mean Houston, Texas, aka the Zen Ginger, asked what snow was, and then Houston got the ice apocalypse. So don't think you're immune.
Nobody's immune.
Priscilla, what's up?
Hello.
How are you, Miss Lady?
Sick.
Sick. Uh-oh. That's no good.
I got the bad stuff.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So, well, you're alive, and that's
I don't
good.
have to go to work till Sunday,
Well, that's a plus, I guess.
and I get paid for it.
Yeah, that's always a benefit. So we started talking about saltwater, and sure enough, Priscilla decides that she wants to show off a little saltwater action here.
If I can get the light rate.
Oops. Uh-oh. Whoa! One of them.
Oh, why is
Oh, you're sideways. Looking good. My BioKey will hopefully look like that here in a few months. No promises, but we're gonna try.
I
Ian's
just did a water change.
Priscilla's on a stream just like the good days. It's been a while. Every now and then we drag Priscilla out of the woodwork, but not very often.
Well, I'm forced to stay at home, so otherwise I would be at work. But look at my new RAS. Oh, he's good.
What kind of RAS did you get?
Very
Fun? No, very right.
blue-sided RAS.
I mean, there's only like a gazillion different kinds of RASes, but
Yeah.
so and then RASes, I've never looked into them a ton, but they have phases, right? So they have different phases and color.
Now he's beefing with the clowns. Look at that.
I had a really cool leopard wrasse in my 265 mixed reef.
Awesome.
He's going to anti-tank anyway.
Oh yeah.
He's too big for this tank.
Oh my gosh. It's getting big. Now which tank is he going in over at Anthony's place?
Thinking for
Ian wants a possum wrasse. I don't know if I've ever heard of a possum wrasse. That's new to me.
Oh, they're cool.
Off to Google I go. Oh, sweet. Yeah, I've seen those. I don't know if I've ever actually. I didn't know they were a possum wrasse, but I've seen those. So pretty cool. But anyway, so kind of getting back a little bit to where I started. So over time, I've slowly kind of drifted from doing the hobby for primarily fun to I did it because I could make a couple bucks doing it. So I kind of got caught up in that side of things. And then I lost the actual passion I had for the hobby, right? It's like when I was first got into the hobby, I was super excited and super into it and interested and always eager to learn and wanted to breed stuff for the sake of just breeding stuff for the challenge to say I did it. And then got a little more into planted tanks, and then lo and behold, figured out that hey, I can actually make a buck or two doing some of this stuff. So I started attending more swap meets and doing a little more stuff, and I started acquiring new fish and new plants to propagate and spawn to sell because I could make money on it. And I quickly found that I was losing the passion for it. I still enjoyed it because I enjoy the hobby, but I was like, oh, well, if I breed this, I can make money doing this. So I'd acquire a fish that maybe I wasn't even super interested in, but I thought I could make a couple bucks on it. So I add this to a tank. And I ended up just setting up all these tanks over and over again, and acquiring these fish. And next thing you know, I have all these fish and all these tanks, and I really wasn't super enjoying them. So I downsized for a couple reasons. Obviously, with me being gone all the time, it's a pain in the ass for my wife to take care of that much stuff. So that was part of it. But at the same time, I didn't really enjoy what I was doing with it. I had all this extra stuff that I wasn't getting any actual pleasure and enjoyment out of, so to speak. So I got rid of some of the excess and finally, sat down and took some time to think about it while I was away for work. And, decided that I need to get back to the roots of it a little bit and enjoy doing things a little bit more, for the passion side of things and having fun with it. So getting fish that I enjoy a little bit more, steering away from keeping things just because, I can make a buck off it. I still keep things that fun as a hobby, right? So I still do things on the side to make a few bucks. But instead of, chasing dollar signs to support the hobby, trying to get into things that are a little bit more fun and enjoyable. That's actually part of saltwater. Saltwater can be super easy, and it can become a money pit that you just keep dumping money into. It's a little bit harder to initially start seeing money back on. And I think a lot of the time these days, what are some of the more popular, particularly freshwater videos that we see on YouTube, right? There's a common title or term that's been coined, and breeding for profit has become this huge deal. Like if you make a breeding for profit video, chances are that thing's going to be one of your best, most viewed videos. How-to videos and breeding for profit or plans for profit stuff seems like in our hobby, those videos tend to do the best. And I think that it's become detrimental to the hobby in a sense, because so many people are like, oh, I could breed stuff, whatever, and I can make money. And then they start kind of I feel like a lot of them fall down the same path that I went down, or like they start doing stuff just to try to make a buck. And they lose like the passion to learn and just the passion for the hobby itself, and start just chasing dollar signs. I think it's, while some videos like that can be useful to a certain portion of the hobby, overall maybe they can be fairly detrimental to like our progression as fish keepers in general. What do you guys think? Is that something that you see, or maybe I'm off my rocker? I don't know.
I think that's when you start turning your passion and your hobby into a job, and then it becomes monotonous, and you start to kind of like resent having to do all the water changes to keep up with breeding parameters and stuff like that. So.
And Priscilla, you've been on kind of both sides of things, where you do a bunch of stuff at home, and then you also have run a couple different shops now.
Yeah, and I've been on all the sides of it, from having a lot of tanks, breeding, from like running a fish store for 3 years, from working at a big box store now. I don't know. You don't really want my opinion on it because it might be a little offensive to some.
No, I mean you bring a point of view, like an aspect to the hobby that a lot of us don't see. So I'm curious to hear what you have to say about it.
I mean, it's like I had this conversation actually earlier with Anthony about it. I told him, like, if people ever gonna ask me again what's the best piece of advice I could give them is don't try to fall into that narrative of I need 20, 30, 40 tanks, I need to breed stuff, I need to make money, because it's a never-ending project, and unless you cannot commit 100% to it, you are going to fail. Because there's so many of us that have full-time jobs that are passionate fish keepers that burn themselves out really, really quickly with putting too much on themselves. Like, I personally have reached a point where, because I've been in the fish industry, been breeding fish for the last 10 years, to the point where I used to have up to 80 tanks in my house. It was way too much to take care of. Then I went down to like 50 tanks. Then I ran a fish store. Went down to like 30 tanks. Now I still have about 20 tanks, and it's too much. I'm still breaking down tanks because I'm at a point now where I'd rather have a handful of tanks I can like give 100% of my attention to, than having 20 tanks where I can give each tank maybe like 5% of the attention it deserves. And just because you have, that's what Anthony and I were talking about, just because you have the, what do you call it, like the drive to set up breeding fish room, and you want to set up 30 tanks, and you're buying all this equipment, and you're spending all this money, is not going to guarantee to make you a successful fish breeder, period. Like, it takes more than just running to a big box store and buy 20 10-gallon tanks to set up breeding project. It takes more than just putting some fish in the tank and hope for the best. Like, when it comes down to it, all the successful breeders you see now that have been doing it for a while, that can live off breeding fish, they're into it, like down to the chemistry of it, to like the microorganisms. They try to go visit places where the fish come from. It's breeding fish is more than just a hobby, if that makes sense. It takes dedication.
And that's like me. I've set up a breeding room where I've got several different native species that I'm working on breeding, and so far I've only bred 2 of them successfully. But I mean, I've only been at it for a couple months now, and you know, a lot of the fish that I have that I'm breeding were collected by myself.
Yeah,
So
that's great.
I'm doing the research on the habitats and the organisms and everything that are in those habitats and stuff, and try to figure out the best ways to breed them in aquariums.
And that is great. I mean, if you focus on that fish and you try to get into it 100%, there's like one great breeder out there, Oddball Aquatics. He always says, think like the fish, be the fish. Or even like the rainbow breeder, what's his name? Gary Lang. I mean, look at him, how he approaches things. Or Dean, Aquarium Co-op Dean. Like, it's not just, hey, I go to the store, buy a bunch of tanks, put fish in there, and I'm a fish breeder. Not that I'm saying don't do that. I love when people have that passion. I deal with people like that every single day when I work. And do it, but don't think you're going to be successful right off the get-go.
Right. So I'm wondering if, obviously, there's certain people that have the drive to just breed fish in general, like, you know, like Kenny or myself or Gary, and they like to breed the fish for the sake of breeding fish, and they may or may not make a couple bucks off the side. I'm wondering if maybe all of these videos that, you know, content creators are pushing for breeding for profit, are they motivating people to breed fish for potentially the wrong reason, and then they're running into not only problems and frustration themselves, but also producing poor livestock into the hobby?
Right. And that's exactly it. Are you breeding the fish because you are passionate about that fish? Or are you breeding the fish because you just want to make money real quick and you don't really care about where the fish came from, about the genetics, about what habitat the fish originated from?
Right. And I think those people that breed the fish for the sake of enjoyment, like finding enjoyment in breeding the fish, like Kenny and his natives, I think something like that, you see more success in those people than somebody that is fairly new to the hobby, but they've seen a bunch of breeding for profit videos, so they start trying to breed fish to sell to make a buck. I think that generally leads to it leads to a little bit of frustration. It leads to producing, you know, often poor quality livestock and pumping it into the hobby, and then they struggle, and then they lose their, maybe they had an initial passion in the hobby, but because they were influenced potentially by these videos that suggested, you know, it's super easy to make money. Maybe they were influenced to go down that route, and then they lose their original passion or interest in doing things for the sake of it, themselves and their own enjoyment.
Yeah, for me, my drive in breeding natives is because I want to, I want to get more people in the hobby into some of our native fish and stuff. Some fish that they might not necessarily know, are in their own backyard, or, not far away. And it's, so that's my whole drive behind natives is just to try to kind of introduce them to other people in the hobby.
Right. Yeah, I could definitely see that. And like I said, a lot of it has to do with your intentions behind getting into it. And I think too too often these days, because there's so much of a push to create popular content, that a lot of the content that's out there is these for-profit type series, and people start getting into it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, and I've been there. I mean, I'm guilty of it. I've been there like 6 years ago, where I was like, oh, there's a big box store when you can go buy a fish tank for $1 a gallon. I ended up buying way too many things. I ended up buying angelfish everywhere I could find them. Started breeding angelfish as much as I could till my local fish store had way too many angelfish.
Right.
And I mean, I've been there, and then I got bored with it because I felt like, well, I already bred like 1,000 angels. What they're doing now, and then I started trying to breed endlers, and then I started trying to breed guppies, and that was, I mean, they breed themselves, and it was like I lost interest fairly quick, and
Right.
there was at least like 2 to 4 years where I was literally just trying to breed whatever was popular,
Yeah.
not because I was into that certain type of fish, just because I had to breed whatever was popular.
Yeah.
So, and I lost somewhat of my fish keeping passion for it. And then one day I just had it. Well, it wasn't like one day I just had it. I ended up becoming a manager for a fish store and doing 40 hours a week or 50 hours a week maintenance. It's not so fun anymore to do maintenance at home
Right.
after that. And then I started getting interest, or I got into saltwater, and I started getting interested into other animals as well, like reptiles and so on and so on. Now I work at a big box pet store, and I love my job. And number one reason of why I love my job now is because I get to work with people. So it's like everything constantly shifts.
Stephen made a comment, said, as someone who's made a breed for profit video with 100% truth about the time and effort involved, I do feel like this is an overgeneralization. It is a generalization. I'm not saying that every video that's out there leads people down this track, right? I just think that because of the popularity of this style of videos, there are a ton of creators out there making inaccurate videos about this. Now, I'm not talking about yours in particular, Stephen. I just think there's some out there that they're making this type of video for views, and they aren't 100% truthful about it, or don't include the work behind it. I just think that there's so many of them out there, and these newer hobbyists see all these videos and they keep clicking them and clicking them and clicking them and watch. They get into the train of these breed for profit type videos. And sometimes it inspires a lot of them to pursue a path potentially for the wrong reasons. So,
And a lot of people are shocked by what they actually end up getting price-wise for their livestock at the fish store. Because you breed something that sells for $8. You think you maybe get $4, but that's not how it works.
right. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. At the end of the day, it's like I said, it's a matter of opinion, and that's why we're here to have a discussion about it. It's kind of one of the reasons that when I started streaming these conversation type streams, I decided that the title of the Aquatic Exchange is because we're exchanging ideas, exchanging information, opinions, etc. about things. It's just a good conversation to have. It's not the typical conversations that you generally see in a lot of streams, or how many guppies can I fit in this 10-gallon tank, or what fish would you put in a 20 or a 40? It's sometimes sometimes it's the less popular discussions or the discussions that aren't so easy and pleasant to have to talk about. So I'm sharing this from my personal point of view, because I was even as a roughly, like, I don't know, moderately experienced fish keeper, I kind of fell into the trap. Like, once I started getting a little bit better at things, I started chasing things for the wrong reason and lost my passion for the hobby and like my true interest in what I originally enjoyed pursuing.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to down talk people trying to like set up a breeding fish room and all that. I'm just trying to like convey the message of try to be realistic about it. Like I said, I get to deal with people like this every single day, where people come into my store and they go like, I bought these guppies from you and they bred, they have babies, what do I do? And they get excited about it and they set up another tank and I get excited about it with them, you know? Because I've been there. So I get that whole excitement about it. But yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize how much it takes long term to be successful and make a living of breeding, keeping fish.
Right. Steven said, so his opinion, responsibility falls mostly on the hobbyist not doing due diligence. That applies to pretty much anyone deciding to make and sell something, and that's accurate, 100%. Unfortunately, a lot of fish keeping is something that's easy to get into, harder to do well, and extremely hard to be like, one of the few people that makes a decent amount of money doing it. So it's like you said, due diligence, 100%, all day, every day. Unfortunately, a large portion of the hobby that's new, or a large portion of the people that are newer to the hobby, maybe they don't necessarily do their due diligence, and that's where they run into problems, and that falls back on them. I'm just talking about how maybe some of these videos lead people down like a weird rabbit hole that often leads to frustration potentially.
A lot of people just don't know sometimes better. Like, I feel like there's a lot of high expectations to fish keepers. They have to know everything, but we all been there. We learn from our mistakes, right? We
Definitely.
usually that's like the best way in learning when you keep fish, just making a mistake, because you will do that. You will never do that mistake again. And like I said, I had it where people come in to the store and they go like, "Oh, I bred these fish." Like, I didn't know for the longest that mixing rainbow fish is not a good thing, right? That with real rainbow fish breeders, it's like, frowned up on that you shouldn't mix rainbow fish. I didn't know that for the longest because I never had an interest in rainbow fish.
Mm-hmm.
And I had people come into the store and go like, "Oh, I have this mixed rainbow tank. I have rainbow fish now," and then they didn't look great. I was like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know better either."
Right.
Like there's like anybody that sets up an aquarium, no matter what their level of experience is, you will never know everything.
Oh, for sure.
Always something to learn.
All right. Well, on that note, we talked about breeding fish. We got a whole bunch of people in here. And one of the tricks to breeding fish, at least if you ask me, is feeding quality foods, because feeding good foods ensures that your fish have the nutrition that they need to spawn, and then their fry need a lot of food to grow and then spawn themselves. So on that point, let's give away a jar of Repashy superfood, which, if you guys are not familiar with Repashy, it's a line of various foods. They make foods, everything from like fly culture nutrient supplements to fish foods to stuff for herps. and they cover a range of anything like morning wood for plicos or bottom scratcher to soylent green for some of your cichlids. They actually have one called Spawn and Grow, which is one that I use downstairs in the basement. So to be eligible to win a jar of Repashy superfood, which if you haven't used it, it's worth trying. It's a powder that you basically mix up with some water, throw in the microwave, and then it sets and forms like a gel. To be eligible to win a jar of Repashy food, let's do hashtag. We'll just go food. So hashtag food, and we'll give it a minute here, and we will draw a random winner here.
I'm not going to participate. I'm too lazy to make a passion.
Same here. I've got a jar, or whatever, a can of it or whatever. But I've had it for a little while now, and I still haven't gotten around to making it, just because I have so much other food that I mix and feed so many different kinds of food and stuff. Like making Repashy doesn't seem like something I want to do. Right?
I don't.
Repashy is great though. I make it for my crested gecko.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have Repashy for my Chihuahua gecko.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's it's a little bit of work to make. It's easier than making a food culture, and a lot of people it'll actually mix different Repashies together. I think Stephen was talking on his stream the other night, and I believe he mixes a couple different flavors of Repashy together. So, which is not uncommon, and yields some great results. So whether
do you remember Ray's aquarium?
I'm sure if I saw him, I'd remember him, but not off the top of my head.
It's a girl with pink hair. She used to have pink hair. That was years ago. I'm like way back in years ago. But anyway,
for a while. That's quite some time, maybe.
She would make Repashy and stuff, and would put calcium and green beans in it, and freeze it, and make cubes, and use it for her snails.
Really? Okay. Yeah, I'm sure you could use it to make like a Snello if you put like ground up calcium or something in there. It probably work pretty well. Steven said he used morning wood, Spawn and Grow, and soylent green for his ancestris. So lots of options out there. So, and then whoever wins, I don't know what fish you keep, but we'll make sure that you get something that will accurately work for you. We'll give it just another minute here. Now, Kenny, I know you keep a bunch of natives. What kind of foods do you feed your natives?
So a lot of my natives get Sarah Onips and bug bites. Those are probably two of the main foods that I feed. But then I also feed a lot of brine shrimp, bloodworms, Daphnia. The bloodworms and Daphnia, mosquito larvae, all come from a little kiddie pool that I have sitting on my deck outside, which is currently frozen, but it's full of leaves and other botanicals and stuff that just naturally in there. So I go in and I'll collect bloodworms and mosquito larvae and Daphnia from it and stuff, and I feed those. And then I also supplement with live brine shrimp. And then some of the other stuff I use a couple of the Dr. Basilier's food brands. And then I use Rod's food. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Yeah. More of a salty type.
Yeah, they make fresh and saltwater foods, but this is some really good high quality ingredients in their food brands and stuff. So I really like that. But yeah, I try to mix up their their food pretty often, so they're not getting a constant diet of one thing.
I think that's a lot of it. I mean, obviously there's people out there that feed one type of food and have no problem with it. I generally recommend, just it doesn't matter if you're not feeding the like highest quality food. If you're feeding a good variety, you usually get good results out of it.
Yeah, and I try to do both. I try to feed a variety of high quality foods, like that. The Rod's food is that's an 8-ounce flat pack, and it's like $19 or something like that for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I usually feed once a week. The day I'm off, good food, quality food, and the remaining days I just feed pellets to everything.
I also use omega-1 pellets for like my sunfish behind me and stuff. They really like the omega-1 pellets.
Awesome.
I use a New Life Spectrum, but that's just because I can grab it at work and I get a discount.
Yeah.
That makes a difference. All right, we got a bunch of people that threw their name in the hat. I'll go ahead and swap over to this window, and we'll give her a spin and see what we end up with. So the Repashi's going home with Lady Rorschach. Lady R, I'll make a note of that. And we'll get some food over to you. So
Congratulations.
thank you. Congrats.
I'm curious, Lady Rorschach. Or is it? How is it spelled?
I think it's Lady Rorschach.
No, it's Rorschach.
Rorschach.
I wonder if that's her last name. Because, I grew up in Switzerland, right? And one of my neighbor towns is called Rorschach. Like her name is spelled.
Okay. She could probably in the chat. We'll see.
Yeah, she's still here.
So awesome. Well, super cool. Lady R, I'll message you. I know you're in the Discord. I will buzz you a message, and we'll get everything taken care of. Jenna said it's not her last name. But Lady R said it's super cool that you lived in Switzerland, and either pronunciation is just fine. So, super cool. Awesome stuff. Awesome sauce. Making sure the dogs aren't getting into anything. They're pretty good at that. She likes Rorschach ink blots. That answers.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
I've never. I mean, I understand what they are. I've never like got deep into the weeds with them, but super cool.
Which would kind of explain the avatar
Right.
down there.
It makes more sense now that you pointed out and we talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
It just blows my mind sometimes when I hear stuff. I'm like I said, I was born in Switzerland. I grew up in East Switzerland in a town of 4,000 people. And if I come across, it's like, what is that, 9,000 miles away? Like, I've actually met somebody here in Colorado, in my town, that literally lived like 20 minutes away from where I grew up, and we were born in the same hospital. And I was like, what are the odds we meet in the United States and we were both born in the same hospital in a cow town?
That's crazy. Now I know I've asked you before, Priscilla. How old were you when you moved away from Switzerland?
24. I moved here in 2012.
Okay.
Wait,
now,
no, so I'm 29. I've been 29 for the last 7 years.
The last 7 years, that's what you said.
Yeah. I moved here about 10 years ago.
So now, were you into keeping fish when you were over there, or was it much of a thing?
No, I started keeping fish when I came over here because that first year I lived here, I was brought to PetSmart, and I
Okay.
thought it was the coolest thing ever. Because in Switzerland we don't have pet stores like PetSmart or Petco.
Right.
And I saw a 75-gallon fish tank, and it happened to be Black Friday. And I didn't even know Black Friday existed either. My mind was blown by stuff being half off. But then I was disappointed because of the taxes.
Now,
Yeah.
speaking of Black Friday, since we have an insider here that could maybe pass us some information, what kind of deals do you guys have going on?
Depends on what you're buying. But a lot of tanks and reptile stuff is 50% off.
Okay.
Like bigger name brand tanks, terrariums are 50% off. Reptiles itself, birds, are 50% off. I think fish are only 25, something like that. But hey, I cannot speak on behalf of that company, so
Okay.
it should be online.
Where do you work?
Huh?
Where do you work?
Not at PetSmart.
Okay. I love going through your guys' dumpsters over by where I live. You know, I find all kinds of cool stuff in there.
Yeah. One day, coworker and I, we were bringing out trash, and I'm like short. I'm like 5'1", but she's like 4 foot, 100 pounds, Puerto Rican, and we always do trash together. I don't know why, but we always do trash together. We went out there, and there was a 14-year-old with his mom inside the dumpster while dad was parked in a pickup truck next to the dumpster watching them. And we were just standing there looking at them. They didn't see us. We were just standing there looking. And I looked at her. I was like, should I say something? She looked at me because I'm her manager, right? Like, what are we going to do? I was like, I don't know what we're going to do. Maybe we should just go back inside. But then he finally noticed us and called them, and then they just took off. But
Oh.
like we don't, I don't get it sometimes with the dumpster diving because we don't throw that much nice stuff into the trash.
Oh, I mean, I've got probably 30 fish tanks that I pulled out of dumpsters from between Petco and PetSmart, and
Really,
I've got a couple brand new canister filters that I pulled out of Petco and PetSmart dumpsters, and
we only throw broken fish tanks into the dumpster, and if it's not broken, it's been returned because of a leak, and it's not physically broken, we will break it.
I'm surprised you don't have to. 'Cause I know, like, if you try to warranty a lot of products, they'll have you that like field to destroy it, where you have to basically render it unusable and send them photos and everything.
No, but that's the thing. Like, they're not supposed to throw stuff into the trash that's still reusable. Like, if anything, like power cords have to be cut off, food bags have to be cut open.
Well, a power cord
Yeah.
getting cut in half isn't going to stop me, but
I know, but I mean, it's just that. You know what I mean? It has to be destroyed.
I get it.
yeah, and that's that's common practice, but it's not it's not what happens in a lot of places. A lot of the employees are just kind of lazy and will throw stuff out. I mean, I've probably got 6 tanks running right now that came out of a dumpster from one of the 2 stores, and absolutely nothing wrong with them.
I mean, that's good on you. Sometimes I wish I could take stuff home, but I cannot. You know, and I cannot take it out of the dumpster either if I want to keep my job. So
Yeah.
Now, Priscilla, I'm sure you're busy working on tanks or something in the house, but George Aquaball stopped by and asked if that was Swiss Aquatics talking.
yeah,
So
with the Rona, I don't know if you can hear it.
most definitely. And then George did ask, he said he's trying to buy the dry fertilizer. Which one should I get? What do I need? I have both soft water and hard water. Do I need GH booster? Mike, please help. Well,
And
George,
I love tea.
I will send you to my go-to for dry fertilizers. Some people may use something different. Generally speaking, you're really getting the same thing regardless. Some people charge a little more, some people charge a little less, but I go to nylocg.com. So that's Colin Grice. He's up in Oregon, so he's not super far from you, George. And this is the exact package I use. So that is the NPK CSM plus B pack. It's going to run you about $20, and he does have free shipping on most of his stuff, if I'm not mistaken. At least he was offering it not too long ago. Last time I ordered some stuff. Yeah, free shipping on all orders. On all orders excludes dry fertilizers. That's $10. So I don't know if you buy more stuff, the fertilizer probably ships for free. I don't know though. But even if it costs you $20 plus the $10, $30 will. I mean, I run this 125 up here in the corner. That's highlight, a lot of CO2. I use the $20 pack that I dropped in the link, and that will last me well over a year. And then I generally have some KNO3, which is your potassium nitrate, left over to use the next year, and so on and so forth. If you're using like straight RO water, he does offer the same thing with a GH booster. I don't personally run that. I use straight RO in my tank, and I don't use a GH booster. I don't. It's up to you. So I don't know. I get by fine if you keep soft water fish, like really soft water fish. You'll be fine without it. So is that enough? That's everything you need. So that's going to be your micros and your macros. So that'll have KH2, PO4, KNO3, K2SO4, and then the Plantex CSM plus B is a mix of your all your trace elements. He offers other traces if you want to go like Miller Microplex is another mix. I don't think you can go wrong with either one. I've never personally used the Miller Microplex. I've used Plantex, the CSM plus B for 15 years and never had a problem. So, and then if you're interested on the specifics of dosing that, I know Bentley Pasco has a pretty decent series on dry dosing. I use the estimative index method, which Colin over at Nylock, he provides charts and stuff. You're basically going to dose roughly based on tank size, and then based on the more or less biomass in your tank. So,
Hey, and for anyone that doesn't want to get into the whole dry first situation, he also sells a liquid all-in-one fertilizer.
Yeah, so Steven said the Microplex has higher copper. I've never used it. I've never had a problem. Speak of the devil. This is the Plantex. I've never had a problem with it. I don't know if I've ever heard of anybody that said they had better success with Microplex versus Plantex either way. I would say that the Plantex CSM plus B is far more popular. I don't know if that's based on availability or results or price tags, but I recommend the Plantex itself plus the regular NPK stuff. So I dry dose the select salts, the NPK, CSM plus B, and then when I'm gone, I have a bottle of Thrive for my wife to dose. And then for like my heavy plants, like this stupid sword right here in the middle of the tank, that picture looks terrible. But for something like that, I do use the Thrive caps from Nylock G. They're cheap. It's basically an estimated. It's like your NPK CSM plus B and a gel cap. So you just throw it in the substrate. So some people claim that they have a hard time with them floating up. I plant in a couple inches of aqua soil and I don't have any problems. So that's what I use. Steven said he has no problems with Plantex either. That's what I would recommend. I think most people that you find for their trace elements, if they're dry dosing, they're going to use something like Plantex. So there's some really, really crazy people that like to get deep down in the woods, and they'll mix their own. And that's like, I sometimes will get the gram scale out and adjust my doses a little bit, but those guys are like adjusting very, very minute amounts of super specific compounds that 99.99999% of hobbyists give absolutely zero craps about and probably won't notice any differences. I'll be honest.
I think I think I might fall into that category a little bit with my dirted substrate for my dirted tanks and stuff, because I mix my own substrate and then I add different minerals and stuff to it. So
And yeah, I mean, it depends on your skill level, experience, and interest, I guess, goes a long way with it. I personally don't have the interest to get down to dosing. Like, all right, how many grams of molybdenum do I want to dose my tank, or how much boron do I want to dose my tank? Because like, just give me a packet that has everything I need, and that's what's going to go in the tank. Stephen asked if I dose on alternate days. I do. So I dose micros one day, macros the next. Standard estimated. So the rough guideline for the estimated index is you're going to do a big water change on day 1. You're going to dose your micros and macros on alternate days, and then on day 7, you'll actually starve the tank to help reset the levels, and then you'll start back over with day 1, do a water change, start back over with your micros and macros. So I do dose my plant tanks on alternate days. I've seen a lot of people that say, well, you don't have to. The science behind it, more or less, has to do with I believe, I haven't read into it in a while, the iron and potassium binding together and not allowing the plants to utilize them. Don't quote me on that, because I haven't read up on it in a while. It's been something forever and ever ago that I don't remember the details on. But I think you'd be fine if you dosed them on the same days, but by dosing every other day, I think it helps you build a routine where you're doing the same thing. You might be dosing a different compound, but you're dosing every day at the same time, and it helps with consistency. Stephen asked if I find the Plantex has enough iron without needing a supplement. I've never added extra iron. Okay, there you go. Iron and phosphate precipitates the iron out. That's what it was. Thanks, Stephen. Appreciate it. This is why I keep you guys around. Just kidding. No, I'm glad you're in the stream, Stephen. That's right. The iron and phosphate. So it precipitates the iron out, basically rendering it almost useless to the plants. I don't know how much of a problem it really is, but I do dose alternate days. Like I said, it helps build a consistent routine. And I do feel that, so like something like Thrive and Easy Green and some of your all-in-one type things, recommend dosing like all on one day for the whole week. I don't know. Well, that's easy. I don't know that it's necessarily the best method, and your experience may vary. I don't use liquid all-in-ones consistently enough to actually notice the details. But I think by dosing all on one day, you're going to see a big spike in nutrients, and that's going to slowly decay over the week. And then you see a big spike, and then it's slowly going to decay. And I could potentially see those swings and inconsistencies leading to maybe some algae problems. So I would recommend, if you're going to dose an all-in-one like Thrive or Easy Green, to separate the doses over the week instead of doing it all at once. So, and that's like same thing with your estimated index. Sure, you could dose for the entire week all on day one, but you're going to spike your nutrients way up, and then over the course of time, they're going to decrease. So when you spike those nutrients on day one and day two, there's still a lot of excess nutrients. Day three, there's still quite a few excess nutrients. Whatever your plants don't use, that's going to be available to the algae. So Myrtle said he spreads it out throughout the week. I think that's the best plan of attack, to be honest. So Chewy's here. What's up, Chewy? Italian Cichlid Association's Zoom meeting. Awesome. Thanks for the heads up. I'll have to look into that and see what I can find. Looks like Lori is peacing out for the night. Thanks for stopping by, Lori. Again, if I don't message you, message me, and we'll make sure we get you taken care of. So George is buying some fertilizer. If you want to wait about, I don't know, 5 minutes, George, maybe you'll get to take some fertilizer home with you. Because seeing as how we're on the topic of fertilizers now, let's give away some fertilizers. And we are going to use the hashtag SquirtFerts, courtesy of Ginger. So use hashtag SquirtFerts, and this will make you eligible for the next drawing, which will be either it'll either be an estimated index dosing kit, so that'll be your NPK and then Plantex CSM plus B, or a bottle of Thrive by Nalec G. This will either be the regular Thrive, Thrive Plus, Thrive S, or Thrive C. If you're not familiar, the regular Thrive is Colin's standard formula. Thrive Plus has a GH booster in it if you have really soft water or use straight RO. And then Thrive C is for like a lower tech or not CO2 supplemented tank. It's going to dose to lower target values. And then Thrive S is targeted towards your shrimp tanks. So it'll have reduced nitrate values, and it does claim 0 copper. So not that I think there's enough copper in any commercially distributed like aquarium fertilizer to really be detrimental to shrimp. But Thrive S does specifically claim no copper in the actual nutrient analysis.
That's the one I'm using.
Thrive S.
Yeah.
So hashtag SquirtFerts will get you eligible for this one. And we'll give it a minute here for people to enter if they like. And if you guys have any questions, I know George asked a couple questions about it. Steven was talking about it. If you guys have any questions on fertilizers, feel free to speak up and ask away. And we'll make sure that we can either get them answered for you or point you in the right direction.
Sorry, I keep muting myself because I don't want to cough in everybody's ears.
We appreciate it.
Now, I was trying to go back to the YouTube app because I have YouTube open on my phone as well as StreamYard, because YouTube is like streaming to my TV right now, so I can see the comments and stuff, but I can't comment on it to enter the giveaway for this one. So is there a way you could?
I'll throw you in there. Okay.
Awesome.
Don't worry about it. Make sure everybody that's interested.
Yeah, because like this is what I got going on right now. Show you. That's my view in front of me.
I noticed on my TV I can like watch YouTube on my TV, but it plays the chat off to the side like that. It doesn't just give me the actual chat window, and I'd much rather have the chat window itself. But I guess.
Yeah, so then you'd be able, you'd be able to comment and stuff.
It'd be much easier if I'm doing water changes on the 125 while I stream. We'd be able to just read the chat easily on the TV. But
yeah.
Where's Anthony? He should be entering into this. I have
Anthony complained that it was too early for him.
Well, yeah, because of his kid. Bedtime and stuff.
So did you see that I got my stream tank up and running again?
I did. That is super cool.
Yeah.
If I wasn't trying to build a saltwater tank and another, it's going to be a front opening. I haven't decided what I want to put in it yet. I used to keep lizards, and I want to get back into lizards, but I also want to get into mantella frogs. So,
What kind of lizard?
I don't know what kind of lizard I would go with now. It's a front opening 40 breeder, so a little bit smaller.
Mm.
But then I was talking to Brennan the other day, and Brennan has me looking at hognose snakes.
Oh yeah, we talked about that. I can't keep them because they're illegal here.
I guess certain kinds are illegal here, but only I think it's the eastern because it's native here. You just can't keep things that are native to Iowa itself.
Yeah, we can't even keep the color morphs because they're worried it's gonna mix with the native.
Hybridize or something.
Because people release stuff.
Right. Skipper's here. What's up, Skipper? So I was surprised. I didn't know that the hognose was, or a form of hognose was native to Iowa. I thought it'd be a little bit chilly here.
Yeah, we have them here as well in New York.
They're all over Colorado. You think it's warm here?
I don't know. So no, so I don't know. I'm not super excited about the price tag, but it seems super cool. They stay a little bit smaller. So I've been bugging a few different people about them a little bit.
We even have rats. I'm like, how did they survive winter?
Lady R said she wants a lavender leucistic hognose.
Yeah, and they're pretty cool too because they'll try to present themselves as like a cobra. They get all flat and out, and then like open their mouth wide and stuff. But they don't actually, like, most of the time they won't actually strike at you. And then if you grab them, they like will roll over and like throw their body around and then play dead.
Right. I was watching videos of it the other day, and it was like they like you said they'll act like they're gonna strike, and then they just like flop over once you touch them. It was like super intimidating.
It's like the Oscar version of a snake,
Right.
Like a painting of.
So I think it looks like everybody that is interested in some squirt furts has entered. So I will do this.
What's up, Fishymon?
This Fishymon's in the house. Up. Well, Fishymon's late to the party, but I'll let him play.
Speaking of native snakes, I have a California king snake.
You have one?
Yeah.
Oh, did you just get it? Because you just had the one python before, right?
No, I had her for like 6 months. I got her when she was tiny.
Oh.
And I had her in a 20-gallon, and then I moved her to a 40, and now I literally have to search.
Okay. Skipper's jumping in on the train here. All right, that's it. Omas. I think that's everybody. So I'll do this so that everybody can see. And then we'll give her a spin quick. And this is for either some dry furts or some squirt furts. Priscilla, it's rigged.
Is it me? Ooh.
Priscilla is the winner.
I would say it is rigged.
Flip tables, people. Flip tables.
Flip the tables. All right. So Priscilla's gonna get some furts.
That's because you blamed me on your wet floors.
I was streaming the other day, and I don't even know who I was talking to in the stream. But somebody's I think it was Ian. I was talking about something, and the 125. I think I overflowed like 3 or 4 gallons onto the floor.
Oh, jeez.
Whoops. So
Yep.
not the end of the world. Everybody says it's rigged. I agree.
Sorry, that was just Mike's karma.
So that's funny.
Yeah,
but for those of you that aren't super familiar with Priscilla, since she's been gone for so long, Priscilla actually does a bunch of artwork. And for those of you that have been involved in the FishTube family a little bit the past couple years, you'll recognize her calendars, which unfortunately I don't think we're getting a 2023 calendar. Is that correct?
No.
No, not this year.
Yeah.
So
I've done one piece of art in 2022.
And we saw that the other day, actually. I was excited.
Exactly.
But here's some of Priscilla's artwork, and so super cool stuff. Makes really great Christmas presents.
Life's been rough lately. Speaking of which, I'm sending some to KG Tropical. I'm trying to figure out actually which ones I need to send to them right now because they're selling it on their website as well, and they sold out.
Are they really?
Yeah.
So I'm actually rocking a little KG Tropicals action tonight.
And they
So-
messaged me and were like, "Can you send some more?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let me figure it out."
All right. See, now back in the day, Priscilla used to stream while she did her artwork. I'm gonna blame Anthony because
Everything was different back in the day.
before you and Anthony started hanging out a lot, you did a lot of cool streams and did a bunch of artwork. And
But
now you don't do any artwork and you don't do any streams. So
I used to live stream while I was doing artwork, but it was all on Facebook. Like I would live stream on Facebook while I was painting.
oh really?
But just for the record, to make it clear, it's not Anthony's fault at all. Because
With Anthony thing.
no. So after Anthony and I got together, I decided to become one of those corporate driven people. Trying to work my way up the ladder. I'm almost where I want to be. And then beginning of this year, I started to have a lot of health issues. My stomach hurt so much often. I was always tired. I always blamed it on work because I was like, I work too much. I'm stressed. And then I went to 500 million different doctor's appointments, and they told me I have Crohn's disease. And then my car died, new car, and just one thing after another.
Right. That's how it usually goes.
And now I have COVID.
Apparently the FishFam.link, which if you're not familiar, FishFam.link is a little project. I don't know, it's more or less a collaboration, I guess. But Matt over at Liquid Zoo OnlyFins is leading the charge to try to centralize a bunch of the fish folks' information that involves like YouTube information, social information, streaming schedules. So if you're interested, check out fishfam.link. And I know, at least last month, if you log in to fishfam.link each month, that you are often able to win some stuff because every now and then Matt will give away some freebies. So if you log in, it enters your name into a hat to make you eligible to win some swag. So like up here in the right hand corner, oops, it lets me log in, so I can either log in as me or I can log in as me. We'll pick me, and then just boom. And so I'm logged in, and then I can go like to the calendar, see who's streaming. Like Jess went this morning. Bentley, Rico was supposed to go. I know he got busy. Scruffy, Bentley, Eric. Looks like, excuse me, Brennan might go later tonight. And then you can look at the next few days, or you can see who's live right this second. So myself, it says Father Fish is live, but that's just a non-stop stream. And then I know Alex was on earlier. I'm not sure if he's on right now. So
I need
think
to find
he's
the
still
time to
separate.
stream.
what's that, Kenny?
I think Alex is still live right now.
Is he? Okay. So, yeah, Tuesday. I mean, I'd say that Tuesdays are busy now, but I think every day of the week is just constantly busy from 4 p.m. until like 2 in the morning. Like there are multiple people streaming all the time, and before it's like you'd be sitting around, you're like, all right, somebody stream tonight for God's sake. And now you have all kinds of options. It's growing so big and so fast, and it's crazy. It's crazy to see what things have happened over the
And
past couple years.
that's probably why I'm up until 2 a.m. when I'm not working.
It often is. Even sometimes when I do work, I'll get stuck in a stream, and all of a sudden I look down and it's like 2 or 3 in the morning. I'm like, holy smokes! I gotta be up in 3 hours. This is terrible.
Well, it's like
Yeah.
I got home last night. Well, I got home at 4:30 this morning. Took a shower and then was up at 6 because my kids woke up.
Okay.
So it was like,
I might try to stream on a Sunday. Maybe like Sunday morning or something.
Sundays. Well, we used to stream on Saturdays, right? Way
Yeah,
back
but
when,
now
whenever-
the way my work schedule is, often if I'm not in California or Anthony's here, I usually work either Friday or and Saturday evening. And during the week, I'm so beat because of all the medication and stuff I'm taking that I knock out at
Right.
night.
Yeah.
So
So Doc Awesome said Saturday Skipper is doing an auction Saturday night. So I haven't been in the past couple auctions, but I know
it's
usually
gonna be a good one.
Saturdays. So Tom over at Skipper's Aquatics, or Skipper's, I think it's Skipper's Aquariums. But he hosts an auction where people put up various items for folks in the stream to do live bidding.
isn't Pam streaming on Saturday too?
I haven't been in one of Pam's streams in a while. I know she used to
Art stream?
do the art streams where it's like her and
Bob
Ed
Taylor.
and Bob and like some of those guys. So
Yeah.
George asked for the link to the dosing information again, so I posted that in the chat quick.
Yeah, because if I force myself to stream, I make actually art, which wouldn't be a bad thing.
Right. It's raising money for Christmas gifts for kids. That's awesome. That's a great cause. I don't know if I'll be able to find that link yet. Maybe. I'll look. Gibbers. So yeah, that's a good cause. So if you have time, Saturday, I don't see it. Yeah, he votes like maybe like one a month or one every couple weeks. They do this little auction deal.
Yes.
So
Yeah, I think it's the last one of the year that this one coming up is the last one of the
Okay.
year that it's doing. But it's supposed to be, from what I understand, it's supposed to be bigger than the last few of them. A lot more like really cool items and stuff.
oh, awesome. So no, we're definitely getting to the time of the year where not only does the weather start to suck, but you're also bumping into a problem with shipping starting to suck simply because of packages are moving all over the place and Christmas presents and everybody's traveling. So ship stuff while you can, because I know most places put a hold on shipping livestock for a few weeks around Christmas time. So,
What time is that stream on Saturday?
8 p.m.
8 Eastern?
Yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern. Sorry.
see if I can find it. The art. There you go, right there. I'm not even showing this. Yeah, so 8 p.m. On 8 Eastern on Saturday. So do the math for your time zone, and definitely an awesome thing to support.
I might take that 30-minute bathroom break, 6 p.m. my time Saturday.
Just hang out. You might have some paperwork to do in the office. Just listen in the background.
Yeah.
True.
Although I imagine
Put an
Saturday,
earbud in and have YouTube streaming in your pocket on your phone.
And then a customer walks by me and goes, "Do you work here?" Wearing the company shirt. I
Right.
love that.
that might be like good advertisement for like when you stream your channel. Like if you just happen to connect it to the audio in the store.
Yeah,
At a
to
projector.
the overhead.
So we were talking about Anthony a minute ago, and look who happened to stop by. So that's a stream we haven't done in a long, long time. Is a late night Friday with Anthony and those guys. Although those streams generally start off with quality conversation and rapidly degrade throughout the night into some pretty wild shenanigans.
Sounds like my kind of stream.
We had fun. I think I'd equate it to like Brennan's Saturday game night.
Yeah.
Just a little less structured because there usually weren't games involved unless it was trivia night, and by trivia night it involved a lot of, well, it just got out of hand. We'll leave it at that.
It turns more into the conversation we would have because we think we're not live anymore, type of thing, and then it just goes loose into every direction.
They got out of hand pretty quick. But
Speaking of Anthony, everybody was blaming Anthony. Now he's here. Maybe he can hop up here and explain himself.
Right? We should hop up here. Anthony, the link's at the top of the chat. You know what to do, man. Make it happen. But while we wait for Anthony, since we happen to be talking about some artwork done by Miss Priscilla herself, why don't we give away some artwork? So she has a variety of prints available.
Oh, I need to update.
Assuming what's on your website is accurate, the winner will have a choice of one of her art prints, whether you're into bettas or I have this Arapaima. Well, I have a bunch of these. I have this Arapaima print. I'm not big into like Arapaima or gigantic fish, but this print is badass. This might be my favorite.
I like that.
Do you have any artwork of native fish, North American native fish?
There's one of a sunfish, I believe.
I don't know if it's on your website right now.
Maybe not, but I know I have to. I need to update that so badly, but it takes so long because I literally have to cut down, make an inventory, like do a bunch of office work to make it like this inventory correct.
See, like I don't like goldfish, but that's a pretty cool goldfish.
That one's old. That's actually Corey's goldfish. Current co-op Corey's goldfish.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I did that 6-ish years ago or something for him, and he let me make prints of it.
Oh, really? Awesome. Yeah. So, in order to potentially win one of Priscilla's prints, we'll do hashtag Swiss.
You know, you're not gonna pay for that. You can pay for ship, but don't pay.
The hell I won't, Priscilla. I'm not going to offer to give one of your things away and then not pay for it.
No, you already owe me some fertilizer.
I will pay for it, and you guys can. We'll work with Priscilla.
Oh, hey, speaking of it, did George order the fertilizer yet?
I think so. George, are you still here? Did you order fertilizer? I think he was going to. I told him to hold on, but I think he was going to.
If he didn't, please order the fertilizer for him, for me, as a present from me to George.
From you to George?
Yeah, the one I want.
Right.
You know what I mean.
George, if you're still here, get in touch, bud. And Priscilla is apparently the gift wasn't good enough for her, so she is rejecting it and regifting it back.
No, it's because I have a gallon of it still. I don't really need it that bad.
I'm joking. But no, if you're into, speaking of Thrive, you can buy Thrive by the gallon, which is a little bit more efficient. It's nowhere near as cheap as it is to do dry ferts, but it's a lot easier to use the squirt ferts too. So,
yeah,
I like to buy things in bulk.
I love George, so if he can have use of it, then yeah, he should have it.
Awesome. So George, if you're here, holler at us. In the meantime, hashtag Swiss puts your name in the hat for one of Priscilla's pieces of art here.
And because it's one, I'm going to add 2 more to it, so it makes a total of 3.
3? Holy smokes. Priscilla's getting carried away now. Take her up on this offer because that's a pretty decent deal.
But look, here's proof.
Yeah, you can. If you can, you can drop my name in there. for me.
I will most definitely put your name in there.
I
Thank
got
you,
a
sir.
whole big bottle of this, and it's almost still full.
Wow.
Now, how long does you've got several tanks, Priscilla? How long does that last?
I'm not using it as often as I should. That probably would last me 6 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a 3-pound bucket of Sarah Onips.
Oh, I heard that they changed the formula at some point in time. Is that accurate?
They did slightly, I believe. Yeah.
Actually, I talked to a Sarah rep.
Uh,
Wait.
she's back.
Right. I talked to a Sarah rep, to the national sales rep of Sarah once, and he was really, really irritated and mad about an online community claiming that they changed the formula.
Oh, really?
He's swearing up and down that they have not changed the formula. The only reason the consistency is different is because of how long it's been stored in a warehouse after it's been manufactured.
Huh.
But that's not my words. That's came from the Sarah national sales representative. You know, and keep in mind, sales representative.
Yeah. Da, da, da. Yeah, I saw pictures of your last hike, Anthony. It looked like it was cold as crap. It has been freezing ass here in Iowa and windy. Luckily today it was about 45, 50 degrees and the wind finally stopped for a little bit.
Anthony's always funny when he comes here. He lives in California. He was born in California. He goes like, "Oh, are we gonna go hiking?" And I'm like, "Sure."
I love hiking. I a couple of years ago I started the 46ers challenge, which is a challenge to hike all 46 peaks of the Adirondacks, all 46 of the high peaks. So it's anything over like 4,000 feet above sea level. And I haven't done a hike in a while now because like life kind of got in the way and everything. But like I've got 11 of the 46 done, and I would do them in tandem. So I would do 2 peaks in one day, and I think one of my longest hikes that I did was 22 miles out and back, and that was 3 peaks.
That's a trek.
It took me about 19 and a half hours to complete it.
Yeah, no, so the thing is, I live in Colorado, and most of the Centennial Mountains are in Colorado. Most of mountains that are over 14,000 feet are in Colorado. When we go hiking, we start at like 9,000, 10,000 feet of elevation already. And if it's 40 degrees down here in my town that's at like 5,000 feet, it's gonna be cold at 11,000 feet. Like, it's gonna be real cold. And then just add a little bit of wind to it, and you wish you never would have left the house.
Yeah, well, that's what I was getting to. Is like I hiked Whiteface Mountain, which is I think it's like 5,200 feet above sea level, but it's I hiked Whiteface in the wintertime, and that was brutal. I mean, it was negative 70-degree wind chill and stuff, and it was horrible. But like, I mean, there was points where I didn't even want to like keep going, but I pushed it and I made it to the top.
Awesome. Yeah. So I saw that Matt asked if we flew the tankers back today. Yes, we flew the airplanes back. The runway finally opened, so we have airplanes again. But a guy that I fly with at work, he actually did Everest this last summer. So he had lots of cool pictures and a bunch of stories to share from that. So that was kind of cool to see. And I mean, more or less anymore nowadays, and maybe it's always been this way, but I think if you pay them enough money, they will make sure that you get to the top. Regardless.
Did you hear about that lady that got lost on Everest not too long ago?
She got lost on Everest.
Well, they were skiing down, and there was a little avalanche, and she was just gone.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to disappear in that much snow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But there's
All
so many 14ers here. I would love to hike, but a lot of them are dangerous.
Yeah, I've never done a 14er. I've done some hikes, but I've never done anything that big.
It's a 14er.
14,000 feet or taller.
Yeah, we don't have any mountains that high in the Adirondacks. I think the highest is Mount Marcy, and that's only like almost 6,000 feet above sea level, I think.
Okay.
Well, I have a 14er. I see every day. You can see it from the front right here.
Yeah.
It's long feet. I see it every day. I've seen it for the last 10 years every day. And now I'm like, I'm coming for you. As soon as the snow is gone, I'm coming for you.
So I think everybody that's throwing their name in the hat is
Myrtle.
will if anybody wants in at the last minute, you are welcome. Otherwise, we're gonna spin to win.
Myrtle's got hiking jokes. He thinks he's hilarious.
I saw that.
Huh? Hilarious.
So spin to win. Whoever it lands on is going to be the winner of not 1 or 2, but apparently Priscilla is feeling super generous, and it's going to be 3 prints.
Listen, don't get your hopes up, guys, because it's going to stop on my name. So I'd like to thank all of you in advance for
And
participating.
unless there's unless whoever wins wants to split the prints, but I'm not going to make anybody feel obligated to do so. If it were me that won, I would keep all 3 for myself because they are super badass.
Yes, Myrtle, I did say hilarious.
I
see what-
just read that joke. It's pretty funny.
I see what you did there. So here we go. Here's a spin. Oinky. Oink Master.
Congratulations, Daisy.
There you go, Oinky. Congrats.
How about
You have
you
the
spin
next
again?
you have the next 3.5 seconds to claim your prize. Otherwise, I claim it for myself.
1, 2, 3.
Oh man, you didn't
Aw.
get it.
He
Aw,
probably has a
sorry.
10-second delay. That's not fair.
There she is.
Oh, you're pretty close.
Close.
But-
Sorry, you're late.
If you want to spin it again, I'll give another 3 away.
Ooh. What do you guys think? Should we do one more? Priscilla's feeling generous. I think we can take advantage of it. So Oinky said thank you. Priscilla said she'll throw 3 more in the hat.
Yeah, because shipping's only $3.75.
I don't see any objections. So how about we do this? Oink Master, we'll send 3 to Oink Master, and then for the next 3, I'll just pay shipping, and we'll send each one to a separate person, and that way more people can win cool stuff.
Oh, that makes sense.
That sounds cool.
Any
You're streaming the
complaints?
rules.
Nope, no objections. All right, we're gonna play that game. So we're gonna spin 3 times, and each person will get their choice. So I did take Oink Master off the wheel for winning, and here we go with number 1.
You gotta show the wheel.
Oh no, sorry, amateur over here. You're gonna be.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at that. Weird. Kenny's like, oh, show the wheel, and then Kenny wins.
It's not rigged, I swear.
It's not rigged. I swear. All right. So Kenny, you get one. We'll take him off the wheel. Here's for another.
I can't reach.
Mary Beth. Mary
If
Beth.
you have the one of the sunfish, that's definitely the one I want.
What was that, Kenny? Sorry.
So if Priscilla has the one of the sunfish, that's definitely the one I want.
Yeah,
We'll have to bug her. Zen said she didn't see her name, so we'll put Zen's name in. And one more time. Vinoxky.
oh, and
So there we go.
I know we
Awesome.
now.
So thanks, Priscilla, for that. Appreciate it. I'll make some notes.
Yeah, make the notes. Also, give me the addresses. You pay for shipping. I'll provide the print.
Yeah, I'll take care of it. No problem there.
Thank you. I don't know. I almost never win anything, so that's awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
So now you won. And Kenny does a bunch of art stuff too. I know some people that are in this chat bought some of Kenny's art from the little auction type deal that he did a few weeks
Yeah,
ago.
I sent it out Friday, so it should be to you guys soon. I know Zen's got 2 pieces coming. Sketty Nona's got a piece coming. Gina's got something coming.
I like original art.
Yeah, everything I sent out was original. Yeah, super cool. A lot of painting type stuff, and a lot of I think it was like Sharpie, like permanent marker type deal.
I can
if I'm not
show you.
mistaken. So we can take a look quick.
I'll show you guys this one.
Apparently, Kenny has nice butt art.
Oh, why are we always yelling?
Get there.
Oh, hey, did George ever answer if he already ordered the first?
No, I didn't see George in the chat anymore.
I saw him a minute ago. I was distracted. We were busy doing.
So I do acrylic pour paintings, and then I like embellish them, like draw over them with different mediums, and I'll either draw something completely random, or I'll go through and start like highlighting things I see in them.
Ooh. That's a lot.
Kind of using the pour painting as a background and stuff. You know what I mean?
Right. Now, how many hours do you have into that one now? I know we talked about it before.
This one's got about 60 hours into it. But there's there's some detail in it that's incredibly fine. Like, where's my hands here? Other hand. Like, I don't know if you could see like the airplane right here
Okay.
with like the chemtrails coming off of the back of it.
That's pretty cool.
That's crazy.
And then like this guy, where's my finger? This guy here has his like cell phone out, but the cell phone has the Facebook like app open, and he's recording these guys fighting and stuff, and like he's also handing pills like to this other guy, and this guy's got a handful of money and stuff,
That's like one of these paintings, drawings you can stare into for a while, and you always find something new.
Yeah, there's so much going on in this painting here, so much fine detail and stuff.
Yeah, it's super cool. Something like every time you walk by it, you probably find something new. Even if you're the one that made it, you probably like look at it like, oh, I forgot I put that in there.
That's like most of the time my paintings are never done, It's like I'll have a painting for forever, and then I'll go back through and I'll start looking at it again, and I'll see things that I didn't see before, and I'll start drawing on it again. So
Super cool.
yeah, that one I think I've put the most time into out of any of the pieces I've done so far.
Okay, awesome.
It's hard to put a price on something like that.
Yeah, I was actually when I lived in I lived in Glens Falls, New York, and I was sitting in a park, and I was like sitting in the grass, and I was painting, or I was drawing on that painting and stuff. and a guy and his wife that I knew from the area. Like the guy was he was a hypnotherapist for athletes. Like he did hypnotherapy and stuff for athletes, and he was really into the artwork, and they offered me $1,500 for it. And I was like, I'd love to take that, but it's not finished yet, and I don't want to take money and be like feel forced to finish it when it's artwork is something you can't force. You just got to do it at your own pace, I think, for
Right.
me anyway. And so I declined the offer, and then when I felt like it was finished, I never got a hold of them again. So
Right. So, so I know there's obviously myself and Anthony stopped by earlier, and then Kenny's in the stream. Is there anybody else in here that's salty? I didn't know if Brendan would stop by. I know he's streaming right now, or Gina. I don't know.
well, I was salty, but I'm not anymore.
Did Mike just kick himself out?
I think he did.
Amateur hour over here. Sorry.
Oh, hi, welcome back, Mike. Welcome to our stream.
Thanks.
George is salty too.
Yep.
That's right. So
And so is Matt.
there's a couple salty guys here.
I can hardly hear you.
Oh, sorry. Let's see if I can bump it up a little bit. Is that getting any better?
A little bit better.
A little better. All right.
There we go.
I need some salty stuff, so I might go bug Matt at his house someday and maybe steal some rock out of one of his tanks to seed my tank.
I've got about 80 pounds of Carib Sea Life rock I could send you if you want it.
I was looking at Bulk Reef Supply has a sale on some rock right now. So I think they've got the Reef Saver rock. I want to say is like $2.50 a pound or something right now.
Yeah.
Which I'd only need maybe 20 or 30 pounds in the BioCube tops. So that
I'm so mad I forgot to tell you about there's a local fish store here, Mermaid's Reef, that did like 3 different auctions past 3 Saturdays in benefit of Windsor Adams, Jake Adams' wife.
Okay.
And they did have a bunch of dry goods too. But yeah, I totally forgot to tell you.
Yeah, I just actually I just watched Jake's last video the other day. So
Yeah.
sad to see. Definitely a punch to the community. He did a lot of good stuff though, and fortunately, he put forth all the effort into making videos so that we can continue to keep learning from him and take advantage of the things that he had to offer. So there's that. Jenna said I have to clean a sump in order to take media from Matt's tank.
Oh, there's George. He's back.
So I think he did end up saying that he just ordered the ferts. So
Okay. What kind of crabs did you get? Did you get emerald crabs? I'm assuming that's probably what you got if you were saying to eat bubble algae.
crab jokes. No, I'll put some sort of crabs in my little BioCube. I'm not sure yet. What do you have in yours, Priscilla?
Oh, a bunch of Asia. I need some peppermint shrimp. I only got like maybe a handful of margaritas now.
How big is your BioCube or whatever?
28, 30, something like that. One of those JVJs.
You should get aptasia eating filefish. They're better at controlling aptasia than peppermint shrimp are, I think.
But the clowns killed it.
Anthony's in the chat. instead of streaming with us, which is unfortunate. But
Maybe her boyfriend would appreciate what?
I'm not quite sure. You guys need to
Oh,
work
the
that out
bird?
between the two of you.
Myrtle, salty people don't like aptasias because they are a pest anemone and they squirrels.
Well, I want some Aphasia, which is the best thing ever from that auction. So I'm gonna use that to kill the big Aphasia and then use peppermint shrimp and get rid of the little Aphasia.
Yeah.
I had Aphasia twice before and I got rid of it. Aphasia is the best thing ever. It costs a decent amount of money, but it's like a liquid you mix yourself in a syringe and you suck it up in a syringe, and it almost acts like spray foam. Like when you use it underwater, it's
Yep.
literally like spray foam, and it's calcium acid something. And it, if you spray it in the mouth of the Aptasia, it creates this spray foamy layer to where the Aptasia can create spores.
Yeah.
And it calcifies it, and it doesn't harm your water parameters in any way, shape, or form. It works with bigger Aptasia, great. Not so good. I mean, you always have little Aptasia you can't see. That's why the peppermint shrimp will hold.
Yeah.
Speaking of George, I got one of George's snakes, right? And she actually was at the vet the other day. The veterinarian looked at her. Not that she was sick or anything like that.
Mhm.
Brought her to work, and the vet loved me, so he took a look at her. She took a look at her. And she said she's the healthiest ball python she's ever seen. There she
I've got 17 snakes.
registered too.
Yeah, I've got a couple different ball python morphs, but most of what we keep are red-tailed boas, BCC boas.
Yeah, I was babysitting a red-tailed boa, and it started eyeballing my cat.
Yeah, our biggest one is about 12 and a half foot, and it's a big female anery. She's, she lacks the red pigment.
Now we're talking about snakes, huh? We got distracted for a little bit.
Yeah, George hasn't seen my snake in a while.
George hasn't seen the snake in a while?
Yeah. It's one of his.
It was his snake, so... Does he still have a bunch of them, or no?
Yeah.
I was watching a video. I got sucked down a YouTube rabbit hole the other day. I was watching a video. There's like a 20-foot python that this guy was carrying around, and it ended up biting him. I was like, well, that's probably gonna suck. But not be excited about that.
I've only been bit by one snake, and it's the smallest snake that we own. It's one of our one of my ball pythons, but it's a GHI champagne is the morph.
Yeah.
But it's it's the smallest one we have right now, and it's probably the most aggressive one. And it's the only one that's bit me.
Yeah, I was
Even
talking to...
we have like a 8.5 foot sun glow, and like when you reach into her enclosure to pull her out and stuff, she's very vocal, like she'll hiss a lot and stuff, but once you get her out, she's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not I'm not afraid to stick my hands in her enclosure and pull her out, or even
Right.
our big female, the 12.5 footer.
Yeah.
But this little fucking 3-foot ball python scares the heck out of me every time. Every time I reach in to grab his water dish, I'm bopping him on the nose with the hook to let him know I'm not,
Right.
because all of our snakes are hook trained.
Okay.
So when you typically what you do is when you're opening the enclosure, you would touch their nose with the snake hook, and that kind of resets them and lets them know that you're in there to handle them or to clean their enclosure rather than you're in there to feed.
Okay.
And so I've got to constantly reminding him like, hey, I'm just grabbing your water. I'm just grabbing your water.
Right.
Mine is super chill because I always like take her out and mess with her, so she's used
Yeah,
to it.
it's hard for me and my wife to handle our snakes a lot lately because we have a 2-year-old and a 9-month-old,
Yeah.
and you don't want a 12 or 8 foot snake around a 2-year-old or a 9-month-old child.
Nope.
No, I'm not sure what kind of snake George has here. Since I don't speak ball python language, but maybe you guys recognize it. GHI paste
Pastel.
Pastel.
pastel fire.
Fire Woma. Super
Woma.
nice.
I don't know what any of that means.
It's so those are dominant and subdominant traits that he's listing. It's the morph.
Okay.
My son's like, why did you wake me up?
Zen was given. Well, she says she was legitimately asking Jenna, but I think she was giving Jenna a hard time about tank maintenance. So I have to use a ladder for the top row of my tanks because it's roughly, I think, the tops of them are almost at 7 feet, and I'm only about 5'8". So I have to use a ladder to do maintenance on a lot of my tanks. The 125 isn't so bad. The stand is fairly low. It seems like a lot of stands for larger tanks set up too high, which would make maintenance a nightmare. And I'm short and I have short arms. So a 125 at 21 inches is the tallest tank I will ever keep, I think, because I can barely reach the bottom as it is, let alone the back.
Oh, my 265s that I had was 8x2x3, and that was a pain in the ass to like do any kind of maintenance and stuff. Like especially scaping or rescaping any of the rock and stuff in it. Like trying to reach 3 feet down and 2 feet back at the same time. It's like,
That was fast.
pretty difficult.
What's up, Anthony? How you doing, man?
What's up?
It's been a while. I think we've been talking about trying to get Anthony and Priscilla back on a stream for like the last 3 weeks, and every time I'm like, all right, I'll do it Friday night, and then I fall asleep. I'm like, all right, we'll do Saturday night, and then I fall asleep. But he's on the West Coast, so that's a pain.
West Coast is the best coast.
What's up, Nano? Now Anthony has a snake too. So, what kind is yours, Anthony? Because I don't know snakes.
Some sort of ball.
Oh, just some ball more if you don't know which. I mean, there's like
Nope.
a gazillion, but
Yeah.
Blame George.
George is
I'm
fine.
working on well, not currently, but we were working on breeding super black pastels, which is an all black ball python morph. We've got 2 different snakes. One of them's a black pastel. One of them's a banana black pastel, and the other one is a cinnamon black pastel. And we're trying to breed those 2 to create super black pastels, but we haven't had any success yet, and we haven't tried in a couple months now.
Gotta look. Oh, okay. What is? So I'm gonna see. I don't know Python genetics at all, but I just happened to Google super black pastel. What is this? It's like
Ooh,
black with gray.
So the black and gray, that looks like an anery.
I want one of those.
Yeah, so black and grays anneries lack any red pigments, so they tend to look black and gray.
Okay.
Whereas the first image there, the all black one, that
Okay.
looks like a super black pastel.
Okay.
And then the black and white one is a pie edge.
Okay. Yep. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a super black pastel.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just it's hard with them because like a lot of breeders are against breeding for super blacks because some of the characteristics of the morphs that you use to get them tend to have like neck kinks or like
Okay.
back kinks and stuff. So like a lot of big breeders shun upon like trying to breed for them, but there's ways around it, like breeding cinnamon into the line and stuff will lessen the chance of getting like some of those neck kinks
Oh.
and everything.
Awesome. Off topic, I see that Steven and Zen and Jen are talking about working on tanks. And Steven said, now I've never seen Steven in person, but he looks pretty tall. And he said
He's like 6 foot.
he has to use a ladder to work on one of his tanks. So that bad boy must be up there pretty far.
Steven's a big guy.
Hey, there's too many black guppies in here.
I know. I need to call him this next weekend.
Send some home with Anthony one day.
No, they're just gonna go to Miss Fahaka.
What are they, black guppies?
Well, we put a decent mixture of guppies in here, but a lot of the fry black. So you can see.
Ooh,
There's
that's what I need to do. I need to go try to get more white ones.
There's a gazillion black like guppies in here. They're everywhere.
Need more white guppies, Anthony?
Yeah, to put in that tub. That's my tub.
Oh, I've got some.
Ooh, look at this one.
I've got a colony of probably 100, 150. They're half black, white tuxedos. But I've noticed a couple of the males have started to express like an orange spot, like up by the ventral fins. So I'm trying to get those guys out of there.
Those out.
So because I mean it's not a bad strain. It's not like a perfect line of guppies. But I need to get the ones with the orange spots out of there. It's just the males. The females don't show it.
That's the prettiest beta ever.
I wonder if they're like a line of koi guppy, like from a koi guppy or something.
I have no idea where they came from. I originally got them from I got them from John Oliver a couple of years ago, and I've produced probably 1,000 offspring out of them, and now they're just now starting to show an occasional orange spot on some of the males. So got to get rid of it somehow. Dee Dee's out of here. See ya.
It must be 12:30 because my lights just shut off.
Lights are shutting off. All right, awesome. I see the numbers are dwindling a little bit. So
Hey, look what I got.
Evo. Would you do discount that at work yourself?
I got it for like $100.
Like,
It was a customer return.
No, I paid like $70 for it. You know why? Because it was like on sale for $149. Then employee discount plus vital care discount brought it down to like $80.
and you just happened to bump into the box, and now it's a damaged box, so you got to discount it a little bit further.
I can't check myself. System smarter than that.
But I think we'll do one more giveaway here at least, and then we'll see how long things go. But the next one, so Bex from RC Beams Art Studio, if you're not familiar, is another FishFam type artist. who kind of gained her recent fame out at the Keystone Clash. And she's got a bunch of cool stuff on her Instagram that you can see over here. So some cool Corys. The Silstream Loach is pretty sweet.
We don't want to look at my Instagram.
I'm afraid of what I'd find, Kenny. Some snail stuff.
Well, I have two of them. I have one for ABC, and then I have one for my artwork, which also includes some of my photography and stuff. But
I mean, I'm interested. I don't know if I can publicly share that on my YouTube channel, just not knowing the content of it. But not that I'm against it. I just don't know the content, so I'll hold off before I go anywhere crazy.
There's a photo of me standing nude in front of a fireplace. Like you can't. It's not frontal nudity or anything, but like holding a mimosa. So.
I mean,
that's where Liquid Do Matt's comment about me having a nice butt came from.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But you can see she does a variety of artwork here, not just super fishy stuff. But you will get, the winner will receive one print from Bex to be determined. You will be able to choose between a variety of prints that she has available to include a betta, an angel, a puffer, a killie, the Hillstream Loach, the Adolfoy Corys, or a snail. So we'll use hashtag Bex for this one to make yourself eligible. Hashtag Bex in the chat. And obviously free of charge to your door. And hopefully shipped before all the Christmas packages start moving, so that it gets to your doorstep.
Didn't they already start?
I don't know. I try to avoid getting stuff in the mail any time from about mid-November to the end of December.
Like our UPS guy looks stressed out.
No, I can only imagine.
Their fast time has already started early, it seems. It seems to be like their early time starts sooner now that even more is online and not as many people are doing in-store stuff.
Yeah,
Really?
Amazon screwed themselves over with their deals because all of a sudden they couldn't deliver anymore.
Man, the great thing about having Wi-Fi timers on my entire fish room is I can just turn on and off lights from my phone. It's awesome.
Oh my gosh, it's glorious. I actually just did a stream. I finally got with the times. I ditched my stupid little analog timers to that it's like the clock and you just punch the little tabs all the way around the outside.
Yeah.
And I went with the Casa mini plugs, and it was
These are what I use. It's a Wi-Fi power strip, and then I use I have a smart home app on my phone, which links to any Wi-Fi power strips, any Wi-Fi light sockets, anything like that. And stuff, and then you can control times. You can manually switch on and off everything like that from the app itself.
Yeah. So Geek Boy I happened to be streaming while I was setting up, and Geek Boy is in the stream, and I think Geek Boy has everything that uses electricity in his house on some sort of Wi-Fi control.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he could turn his microwave on with his phone.
Well, Geek Boy's smarter than all of us.
Well,
that's why he's Geek Boy.
Right. He had that stuff figured out.
I haven't seen him in ages. Physically seen him in ages.
I've never seen him ever, other than.
Well, he lives here.
Well,
one of the interesting things, when I lived in Scotland, one of the things I noticed is every power outlet had a switch on it, so you can literally like shut off power to the switch, so your electronics aren't drawing ambient energy, because everything uses ambient energy whether it's on or off. If it's plugged into the wall, it's drawing energy. But like
Right.
every power outlet had switches on it, so you can turn the switch off and literally cut power to that outlet and stuff. And that was one of the things I thought was pretty interesting about like when I lived over there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. When I was looking at why, so I set up those plugs. Each one's just an individual single outlet plug. So I was looking at going with a power strip to control the tank. So I could turn my CO2 on before the lights and whatever. And they have, instead of like Wi-Fi switches themselves, they have, I mean, it's a switch, but like if you don't have a Wi-Fi like light switch on the wall, it's literally a little switch. It's got an actuator on it, and it just hits the switch for you. So it literally like I guess you take like a command strip or something and stick it next to the switch, and then it moves the switch up and down, so you don't have to replace the whole switch itself. I was like, all right, that's
So
different.
it's a switch to hit a switch.
Exactly. I'm gonna go see if I can find it now. It was a switch actuator. The switch bot.
Are they going to survive though, George?
It just pushes the switch up and down. That's it. I'm like, well, what's one way to make that happen.
It's called switch bot.
Yep.
I hope they're gonna survive because I need them. That's like my bucket list fish to breed.
So it doesn't look like a lot of people put their name in the hat yet.
I do.
I saw that. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13, and there's 26 watching. So if you're watching, hashtag Bex, put your name in the hat for one of Bex's prints.
I didn't put in for this one. I've got one of Beck's prints that Eric Wyrock is supposed to be sending me at some point.
And you know what? Since award-winning art, enter.
Yes, Nostrum, you just have to hit hashtag Bex. Type in hashtag Bex in the chat. I don't have any objection to it.
Be sure. That's hold corrections and 2 originals. Copy. I don't know how many prints does she have available, Steven? I'm not sure. I've seen a bunch of them. I haven't seen the whole shebang. Anybody else? Anybody? Bueller?
I'm noticing one thing I don't like about having like a stream up on the TV and then like StreamYard on my phone is I can 100% see the reflection of my TV on the tank behind me.
Oh yeah, I was watching that before. I was trying to figure out what you were watching, but it's just me. So,
Okay, anyone can enter because I'm gonna win because the giveaway gods know that I'm exempt from being able to win from another artist anymore.
I just had to leave and come back because this is literally funny thing.
yeah, you're partial. If we did pick a number, I would have to exempt the numbers 36 and 63.
63?
Because
That's
if
fine.
I'm not mistaken, those are the 2 numbers that Anthony always picks. But it's been a while.
42 is always my number.
So But we'll spin real quick. I'll do this. I'll do this. And again, this is for one of Bex's prints.
I like other artists' art because I don't like my
Um,
the wall.
and I think you guys already shared Bex's stuff. She is working on a store. It's not up just yet. Her Instagram. I think she's got a Facebook page too.
She also does a Saturday pop-up stream now.
Yep, so I think it's 4 Central Standard Time. The weekend water change, I think.
Yep.
So usually a pretty good time. So do this.
And
Do
it
this.
was awesome getting to meet her and Kyle at the Keystone Clash.
To this. Mary Beth, if you're still here, if you got 2 minutes, you can throw your name back in, and maybe you'll take something else home too. But if not, thanks for stopping by.
Mary Beth gets my reference on my number picking.
Does she?
Yes. That's what her comment there. So long and thanks for all the fish. That's from the same movie or / book.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The only thing I could think of with 42 was what was the movie? They said, "What is the meaning of life?" Didn't they say 42?
Yeah, that's it. It's the
Hitchhiker's Guide, which I thought was an absolutely miserable movie to watch. I mean, I was in high school, but I thought the movie itself was terrible.
Wonderful movie. I love it.
I mean, I only watched it the one time.
It's
And,
such a great movie.
So
Watch it again, Mike. Now that you're
Now that
almost
you're
grown
older,
up,
and
almost grown up.
again.
there you go. There's a link over to Bex's channel, and I don't see anybody else throwing their name in the hat. So 27 people watching. I think we got 14 names. Kenny's on the wheel since he can't play. Riddle, Steven, Jenna, Lady R. I don't have Lady R. Lady R, are you playing or not?
That's okay. That's better odds.
Right?
Yeah,
well,
I'm gonna win.
Put Lady R on. I don't know if she. And I got Aqua Balls. June. We'll put June on. Oh, June's already on there. I don't think I'm missing anybody else.
Anthony's gonna be giving away all my art when we move together.
So are you just going to give away everything in your house so you don't have to move it?
No, my art. He's hanging.
So I think I got everybody that's here on the wheel. But I don't know command percent. All right, here we go.
Before you spin it, you can put me on there, and I'll just gift it to somebody in the chat.
You're already on there for you, Kenny.
Oh, okay. Oh, now I see my name.
Yep. So here we go. Somebody's going to be really happy, and somebody's going to be really upset. Nano Aquarium guy it is.
One more.
Congratulations, Nano.
All right, Nano Aquarium guy. Looks like he is the magical winner. So congratulations, Nano. Get in touch. Buzz me an email. Or hit me up on the Discord. And we'll get some stuff to you.
You guys are still using Discord?
Oh yeah. Uh-oh. We got Matt's wanting to play games over here. Matt says we can do one more and he's gonna pay for it. So I don't think there will be any objections to that. Chewy wants another winner.
I object. Oh,
I
me.
object. All right, so we're gonna take Nano off because he won. And if anybody else would like to volunteer to take their name off, I will gladly put my name in your place. And I'll just go over to Matt's house and I'll bring it home for myself. Nope. All right. I didn't think so. All right. One more. Here we go.
Wait, what?
If I pick your name, I'm just going to keep the print for myself. That's what we just decided.
Oh.
So thanks, Matt, over at Liquid Zoo, Only Fins. Again, FishFam.link. If you're interested in supporting FishFam.link, you can support the Patreon, and that helps to go towards offsetting not only his time, but server fees, etc. 3, 2, 1. Ba-da-ba-da-ba. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Oh man, we almost got there. Priscilla
What's
wins.
just my name?
Oh,
in
look at
the
that.
second
It's
time?
rigged. I already won twice tonight.
All right, so Matt, I'll get in touch with you, and we'll get a print over to Priscilla.
At this point, thank you. You can just send
Priscilla's
me a
address
box.
in California.
Matt would have to buy his own print.
I
I'll
should
make sure to
just
shoot you that address.
hey, Anthony, buzz me. Just buzz me a message quick. I'll get your address, and we'll send it over to you.
Wait, what?
No, you just said that you're going to give yours to Anthony, so I'm going to send it over to his house, and all will be right in the world.
I did, huh?
So, congrats to those that played. Much appreciated.
Thank you. I won
Um,
twice. How many giveaways was there today?
so I think we gave away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 giveaways tonight.
And I want 2 of them. So
Chewy
That's it.
claims it's rigged.
can you do 2 more giveaways? That means I'm gonna win another one.
2 more. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to give away my house here soon. I'm gonna run out of stuff to
Okay.
give away.
Mike's gonna start giving away random like people in the chat stuff. Next up is Myrtle's couch.
Should. Here I've got a sweatshirt that my wife sold to somebody and she shipped it. We can give this away, and I'll just put a new packing label on it. I don't know what it looks like. I have no idea what size
What
it is.
size is it?
I don't know, but we'll give it away. We'll give it away.
It looks like a medium or
Well-
large based on the package.
Is it for women or men?
I don't know. That's
How
half
about
the
the
battle.
fish?
You
Give
just-
me
you
some
get-
fish.
Come on,
you
that
get-
clothing is unisex.
You get whatever's in here.
We need more information.
It's a mystery package. All we know is it's a hoodie.
Riddle
Wait,
offered up.
where's Mike's wife?
She just went upstairs to bed. So, direct all questions to her. As much stuff as she ships, I don't know if she could even tell you exactly what's in there.
She sells stuff online?
Yeah, yep. So she,
Oh, I thought she just had a storefront.
so she actually started selling stuff online, and then it was successful enough that I kicked her out of the house because it took up too much space, and she opened a storefront. So now she's got a brick and mortar shop.
Oh,
So she still does a bunch of stuff online. She uses like Poshmark or Mercari. So she plays that game.
nice.
So
But
Deb's
you gotta
here.
send me that link to her store.
Yeah, I'll go
You
find it.
you better drop that link in the chat for everybody.
I don't even know if I know that link. I can send you her Facebook page.
Oh, man.
Well, you're gonna get the award of the husband of the year if you don't
Oh, I
have
know.
that link.
What a supporting husband.
So she just started setting up her Shopify stuff. So I don't know how much is actually listed on there. But here's her Shopify, and here's her Facebook. If you guys are bored, you can take a look. I said it's mostly like she does a lot of like it's mostly women's clothing, a lot of vintage type stuff. So if you're bored, take a look. If you're not into women's clothes, I don't blame you. Neither am I. That's why I kicked her out of the house, and she can sell that stuff in her own store.
Oh, I already follow her on Facebook.
Oh, are you creeping?
Mike doesn't like
No,
women's
because
clothes
you
for some
shared
reason.
it when you shared it when she opened her business or something.
I did. That is accurate. Here, we could give away all of her kitchen utensils. What would you like? You got
Are those
slotted
silicone?
spoons. Some of them are silicone. Yes.
I'll take the silicone ones.
Only the silicone. No, you can't be picky about what you get. You just
I
get
want the orange spatula.
the orange one.
Yeah.
It's like just the orange one.
Yep, just that one.
All right, deal. I think I can fit this in a standard envelope, and I'll just have to put an extra stamp on it.
There you go.
What else? I've got.
That's hashtag spatula.
What else is within arm's reach that we could give away? I've got an adjustable wrench that I use for my CO2 tank. That might actually be worth something.
What about the second pair of shoes up on that rack behind you?
Second pair? Those are my dudes.
What about the shirt off your back?
I was gonna say that.
You can get your own. You can literally go buy this.
KG tropical shirt with a ketchup stain.
I was like, that might not be the only stain on it.
Mike's gonna quit streaming after today.
Probably because my wife's going to disown me because I gave away everything in our house.
How about
What
the
else?
ability to shave your mustache?
Nope.
Oh, she would love that.
God, I should auction that off, like the highest bid, and I'll shave. Like, if we hit the reserve price, like I'll auction off, like I'll shave my mustache, and then I'll donate all the money to.
Reserve price.
I'll donate all the money to go. I'm not going to shave it off for like $4. There's no way that's worth it.
I got $3.50 on it.
Didn't you say your wife doesn't like it?
She hates it.
Why do you have it?
To grow a
No
head.
reason to have it.
Oh, don't get any ideas there.
Myrtle says she
Right,
has
he has
passion.
it still because he is his own man.
Right. Sometimes you just got to be the boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Myrtle just wants, so Kenny gets the orange spatula, and Myrtle gets the container that it's in. So
I want the purple.
the purple what?
Whatever's purple.
I don't think there's anything purple in there.
I want the
blue.
ones that are the color of your wall.
So I swear, so the wall, funny enough,
Seafoam green.
Jenna actually posted a picture of one of the rooms in their house, and I swear it's the same color. And like, this is not a common like wall color. I don't like, it's this teal seafoam color.
No, it's not, but I even have a wall that's in a similar color.
Okay, so maybe it's more common than I thought. Thanks for just.
Isn't that
Oh.
Seafoam at Home Depot?
It's. I think it's the lights in here. It's way more teal than it is like seafoam green. It's like a turquoise color. I don't think I could survive in Louisiana. I've lived in a lot of places, but I don't think I could survive in Louisiana.
Humid there is.
Louisiana, it's just humid and swampy. Like, I can do heat, but the humid swamp, like, I'm a very sweaty person. And like, I could not make that happen.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
God.
here in Colorado, it's like you go outside and watch your skin crack.
Oh my gosh, it's
It's
dry.
so dry.
Was it not this summer, but last summer, Brittany went to visit. She met up with some of her friends in Estes Park, and she was there for like 4 days. And she said just like her skin and lips were just dry and chapped like instantly once she got over there.
Yeah, you know Jason Wilson, CJ guy?
Yeah.
Every time he comes to Colorado, his nose starts bleeding.
That would suck.
Every single time.
Oh yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, that would not be any fun.
Excuse me, sorry.
My plants hate it here.
Oh, I'm sure. Were you fogging them earlier or like misting them or something?
Yeah. My current humidity in my room is 20%,
20%.
and that's high.
Yikes.
I have a dehumidifier in my basement fish room, and it's currently at 32% humidity and
My
66.6 degrees.
Yeah.
those 240-gallon tubs I have, Rubbermaid tubs that are open, that have no lid, they evaporate about 4 inches a week.
4 inches.
A week in the wintertime.
It's like my 125. I don't have lids on that, and it probably evaporates maybe in an inch a week or an inch and a half.
My 125 that's fully enclosed with lids evaporates about 2 inches.
How is that
Yeah,
even
my
possible?
my
I
180
don't-
behind me doesn't have a lid, and I lose probably half an inch a week.
Doesn't mean like
It's currently 54 with 61% humidity here.
Yeah, that's not.
yikes.
I don't
Hey.
do water treatment. I just top off.
All right, but I'm gonna jump down because it's almost 1 a.m. and I've got to get some sleep.
Sure thing. Thanks, Kenny. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
Good
no
night.
problem.
Thanks for showing your art. I
Yeah,
want
no,
that piece, but I'm broke. I just want.
You missed it.
no,
So
I don't know if I would actually sell that one. Honestly, that's probably one of my favorites that I've done so far.
a few
Well,
weeks
if you
ago we
ever
did an
make
auction. We
prints
had some
of it,
cool ones.
What's
let us
that?
know.
Would I make some prints of it? I would probably make. Probably if I made prints of it, I would do a very limited run. But I would. That's probably something I would consider. But yeah.
Awesome. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So,
But
anyway,
yeah, thanks for having me up.
yeah, thanks, Kenny. Always a pleasure, man. We'll catch you later.
Yeah, anytime you wanna do a stream and talk about stuff, get a hold of me and see what happens.
Awesome. Sounds good. Have a good one, bud.
All right, guys. Bye, everybody.
Later.
Bye. Chat.
Later.
Chu said a cement floor with a drain near the laundry. That's about like my setup downstairs, and it makes life super easy. So I love having drain and water right there. It particularly helps when you overflow tanks regularly, which happens more often than I'd like to admit, but it happens nonetheless.
Same here. I wish I had a drain. Yellowstone, where in Estes Park did you go?
I don't need a drain. If my floor gets wet, I just have to wait 30 minutes and it's dry.
Yeah, I've been to Estes Park one time, and that was it. Pretty good time though. So Anthony, I should ask Kenny while he was here too, but so I'm probably going to get some of the Reef Saver rock from Bulk Reef Supply while they've got it on sale. What coral food do you use? Do you use like reef roids or reef chili or any?
I use the Aqua Vitro Fuel. Other than that,
Well, that's more of a supplement.
NEM's krill.
Okay. I mean, I don't need. Obviously, I'm not going to put any corals in there for a while, but I plan on. So I've got 45 pounds of aragonite for the bottom, and then I'll just use as much as I want. Once I start filling it up, I'm going to use about 20 or 30 pounds of dry rock, seed it with a little bit of live rock maybe, and then use like some Fritz Turbo Start 900. I think 900 is the saltwater version, right?
Yep.
Yeah. The purple.
I think I'm going to go that route.
Be careful with coral foods, like the powder stuff.
So
Like,
the
you
reason I don't use them personally is because I've had a tough time keeping my parameters in check in the first place, and they like to pollute the holy hell out of your tank.
Okay.
So I just stopped using them, but I was using reef roids for a little while. I didn't
You know
notice
what's the
significant difference.
best thing you can do for your corals when it comes to feeding them?
What's that?
But that's like a personal opinion. It depends on who you ask. Probably. So it all depends on what type of corals you're keeping in the first place. If you want to go down that rabbit hole, a lot of corals need food. A lot of corals don't need because they survive. So the corals that need food, like your Duncan, anemone, the meaty corals, like the scaly, trachees, brain corals, that actually you can watch them consume food.
Mhm.
You can give them something. I give mine like pellets or crow or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I don't pollute my water. I hate polluting salt water. And I used to do reef rates, but I always had a hard time with hair algae and just nitrate because of the rates, right? So I started using macronutrients and omega-3 and whatnot, which you can buy in something like fuel. I mean, every brand has its own coral food supplement liquid.
Right.
And you can also, the best thing to feed corals literally is reef plankton, like fresh plankton.
Oh, really? Like, are you like culturing like Fido or?
Yeah, or yeah, phytoplankton. Phyto, if you can culture it yourself, it's great. Do it once a week. Just
Yeah.
add some Fido, like fuel has Fido in it, of course, all dead Fido, right?
Right.
If
Yeah,
you can
sure.
actually have live Fido, a lot of corals, like clams, filter feeding corals, will be happy as a clam, literally. Or like even stuff like leathers that feed on microorganisms. Like if you can do Fido once a week, that would be the best thing. And some sort of liquid supplement and whatever coral actually eats, like give it krill, mice, whatever.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll feed my rock flower nymphs like krill or mysis. But then I have my leather right there that just, if I'm not mistaken, is just like feeds off the light.
Okay.
It will eat Fido and stuff, tiny microorganisms. Like you can watch, if you add Fido, you can watch the corals react to it.
Yeah, but I'm scared to do that in this tank. It's too tiny.
Well, yeah, because it's so small, it's easy to over pollute. But yeah, it's kind of like, you know, same thing with freshwater when people have shrimp tanks and they feed a ton of bacteria.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of same thing with coral foods. If you do too much of it, you will have nitrate issues.
Right.
It's especially with salt water in sand, stuff builds up so much. Like if you have too much alkalinity, your sand will calcify.
Okay.
And if you have any dead spots in your sand, it literally will turn into a nitrate trap. I do not recommend doing that, but I know a lot of people that will literally stir up their substrate once a month
Oh, really?
just to, get rid of buildup.
Hmm.
And then run their skimmers, like do a water change with skimming it.
Ian said he feeds a shitload of stuff to his tank.
I mean, it's probably if he has a good balance of it, It's all
Right.
about the balance. If it's being consumed, yay. If not being consumed, then you run into a huge problem.
He probably spends more money feeding the corals in his tank than I feed my whole fish room. But I feed a lot of live cultures.
Oh,
I mean, freshwater live foods are cheap and easy. Saltwater, like I've cultured Fido and I've tried to culture rotifers for a while, I don't know. It's kind of a headache.
It is.
So he said he's got some Anthelia, which I'm not. I got coral names anymore. Used to be. Looks like it's a type of, almost like a pulsing xenia type deal. But
Even baby brine shrimp is a great food for saltwater tanks.
yeah, I feed when I had my saltwater tank set up before. I'd feed baby brine shrimp too. Just use like a pipette to like spot treat or spot feed corals a little bit, kind of.
Yeah. And what I usually do is when I actually feed my corals, like my scallion and stuff, I will turn everything off so there's no flow.
Mm-hmm.
So I can literally spot feed.
Right.
And stuff doesn't go into the water column and float around and gets trapped in between rocks and stuff.
So,
I mean, one thing you can do is feed, if you're going to feed your corals something like reefroids, is do it before you're going to do a water change. Change your filter clocks and whatnot.
Chu said smaller tank, more issues with chemistry. So I had a buddy that ran like a little 2.5 gallon saltwater tank, and he had some like shrimp and some crabs and a couple snails, and he might have had like a very small fish in there. I can't remember. But he literally he'd do a cup, like he'd change 1 cup of water every day. So just like every day is like a small little water change, and he never had any problems with it. Yeah, just because like
yeah, I mean it's the same balance as everything when it comes to saltwater.
his water changes were so easy because they were so small. They literally just like scooped a cup off the top and dumped a cup out of a 5-gallon bucket in there, and he just called it good for the day.
You know how scared I was when I had to reset my tank? How scared I was in running into the same issues I did when I originally started my tank? Because I literally scraped it all. But my tank's doing pretty good right now.
Yeah.
How's the what coral isn't doing so well?
But also,
Yeah.
it's still bleachy on one side, but it seems to be hanging there. So I hope it will recover.
Ian said his LPS seemed to benefit more from feeding than the softies, but I'd imagine like softies don't like actively feed, do they? Like they're more like a filter feeder. They don't like actually like grab like meaty type foods and grab like eat them.
Well, it depends on what kind of softie. Like an anemone will eat whatever you throw its way. And if it doesn't like it, it will throw it up.
And then you just end up with a disaster in your tank.
Yeah, just a huge barf fest.
Where they get pissed off and find the nearest power head and
Yep.
shred themselves into the entire tank. I had a Condylactis that did that one time. It was a beautiful Condylactis. And it found a Corellia power head and somehow started sneaking into it. And sure enough, there were bits and pieces of it just kind of scattered about. Definitely problematic.
I have a rainbow
I've
rose
pulled-
that split a couple weeks ago. I think it's getting ready to split again.
I've pulled a rose bubble tip anemone out of MP40. I thought it was done for. It was sucked into the MP40, like
So
you know the grid of the MP40, like the wet
Yeah.
side. It was in there,
That's a big power head.
and I was like, it's done, right? So I turned the MP40 off. I tried to get it out. It didn't look dead. It was just shredded. It didn't have any tentacles anymore, and I left it in the tank, and it recovered.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yikes. That's impressive. I wouldn't think it
Corals are
back.
hard.
Some
No,
of them.
I thought it was.
I had a Duncan that was doing well, and then overnight it just decided to melt, just like out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, corals love to do that. Everything's great, and then one day it's not.
And there's literally nothing wrong with it, and then all of a sudden it just poof, gone. Oh, like holy crap! Or you get like was it rapid tissue necrosis, like RTN, and like sticks.
Yeah.
I had a bird's nest that decided to do that, and there was no saving it. It was
Yeah,
gone.
hammers love to do that.
God, gross. There was Tim Morrissey, so he runs the aquarium down in Omaha. They had this huge, I mean, it was thousands of gallons, this big reef tank, and they were started losing corals, and they traced it back to there's like a butterfly valve or something that had like it was plastic, but it had a steel pin like that ran down the middle, like a shaft that ran down the middle of the actual valve itself. And the plastic around it had cracked, exposing the steel to the so that the water could, you know, slowly basically cause it to like rust and deteriorate. So they ended up losing a bunch of corals because of that, or at least that's what they thought it was. But once they fixed that, they stopped losing corals. So little things like that. Yeah, I haven't seen a Nero in person, but they look pretty sweet. I don't like the price tag of the Nero, but everybody seems to enjoy it.
I like the Neros. But
Zen, saltwater is not much harder than freshwater. Also, reef keepers, everything will implode and nuke itself for no reason. That's not wrong. What's up, Tom?
but there's usually always a reason. You just don't know.
Yeah, I was like, you might not figure it out, but
Try to give a reefer a planted tank.
so like I've tried to talk people that are like super hardcore into reefs. I'm like, why don't you set up a planted tank? They're like, no, I could never do that. That would be way too hard.
I had that conversation actually once with Jake Adams, like about 2 years ago. And he was all about. If you would have a conversation with him about corals, he was all about the scientific aspect of it. Like if you would call an acanado an acan, he would correct you. He'd be like, no, that's not the name of that coral. It's like, what? It's the same family, same thing. He's like, no, it's not. Right? And he came into my store one day and we were more freshwater than saltwater. He was looking at the plants and then I saw he was really interested into the plant. And I was like, why don't you set up the freshwater tank? He's like, yeah, I used to have freshwater when I was little and stuff. And then, he became a marine biologist and all that.
Yeah.
And traveling the world and being so in saltwater. And then maybe half a year after I had that conversation with him, I was at his studio and he actually did set up a 40-gallon cube freshwater.
Okay.
And he kept telling me to not look at it because he just set it up. Right? And I looked at it and it looked banger. He had like a bunch of Vallisneria in there. And he's like, well, I just bought these plants. I don't know what they are, but they're nice. And over the last 2 years, he has developed such a passion of plants where he got just as scientific with the plants as he did with the corals.
I was going to say, you should have corrected him on the actual identification instead of just a plant that he bought.
No, but it was funny, just like, see that gap between fresh and salt water, like closing, be so similar but so different at the same time. And I mean,
right.
Jake was one of the most knowledgeable persons when it comes to salt, period. Like, he would also be like, if you go like, well, my coral just died, he'd be like, why? And you'd be like, I don't know why. He's like, well, there's a reason why. And you'd be like, well, I tested everything. Every parameter was good, more than fine. And he's like, yeah, but you didn't test for everything, did you? Did you send like a sample to the lab?
No.
Like that sort of thing. And he's like, you know, we have so many metals in the water here, and he would just go on this huge rant for like 2 hours about how metals affect corals and how metals can affect plants as well.
Really?
And I'm like, okay.
God, I actually there's a local. It was a small aquarium. Technically, it was a butterfly house that had an aquarium attached to it, more or less. But the guy that ran it was a big saltwater guy, and the focus of it was largely saltwater. But he had a guy that helped him, so the guy that ran the show took care of mostly the saltwater tanks. And then they had some freshwater tanks, and like there's this guy that helped him, and he took care of the freshwater tanks, and they're okay. And the supervisor asked, he's like, "Hey, would you be interested in coming on?" And he's like, "I know you're pretty big into tanks." He's like, "Would you be interested in running the freshwater tanks and helping out with the saltwater tanks?" And he told me how often he wanted me to like test everything. I was like, "You're out of your mind." I was like, especially on the freshwater stuff. He's like, "No, I need you to test this stuff." I was like, "I don't need to test that stuff to have a successful, like decent freshwater aquarium." He like wanted me to test like almost every day. I was like, "I'm not doing that. I'm sorry." I mean, I might do that on your saltwater tanks because like I'm not as experienced and like I don't have the skill set for the saltwater, but the freshwater, I am not doing that. That is way too much work, wasting time.
Yeah, but you'd be surprised how much, you know, if you get into the whole scientific side of everything, like the same when you set up a saltwater tank, all the people that have like a apex system on it that dose just the right amount every single day for the corals to consume. You could technically do that with a planted freshwater tank as well if you know, do your
Oh,
homework, do the studies of how much is being consumed on a daily basis and all that stuff.
right. But I mean, I get the science behind it, but there's a reason that my tanks look the way they do instead of like Dennis Wong's tanks or Tom Barr. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm like, that's good enough for me. I'm happy with it. It looks good in person. I don't need some IAPLC masterpiece in my living room. I just don't
I'm
have
just
like,
interested in the whole scientific backside of it.
oh
I'm happy with my cubes.
Hey, your cubes look banger. I don't know why they look banger, but they look banger.
are those
I mean, you know.
are those the only two freshwater tanks you have up, Anthony?
No,
No, I wasn't sure if you had just had those two or
I have a
you never stream
another
anymore and you never make
heater
videos, so I
there.
don't know.
I still have stuff in my fish room. It's just been kind of doing the minimum.
Because you've been in Colorado too much. Latin coral names. So I don't know I can pick out like a few coral names and that's about it. I've been out of saltwater for years. So even like when I was actively saltwatering, I didn't know very many coral names. But
that's one of my biggest pet peeves right there. If you go into saltwater, you look at corals, and they don't know the name of something, and they just call it ultra something.
oh my god,
It's like,
everything in saltwater is ultra.
yeah, like, okay, you just called it ultra because you don't know the name of it. And it makes it sound fancier because it looks fancy because it has unusual colors.
Right? It's called an ultra acan. Or what's up, Nick? We're talking saltwater a little bit.
Did you unbox all your stuff yet?
Nope.
Well, where's it at?
Down in the basement. I've only got about.
Like,
Stream one.
Well, that was the intent, and then I got distracted, and now I'm only good up. I don't know. I'll probably stream for about 10 more minutes, and that'll put it at 3 hours even. And that's a long time for me to stream. I haven't streamed this long in forever. Of course, I also haven't had this many people in a stream in forever.
So yeah, I finally mixed up some of that Fritz Blue, the one I told you to buy from PetSmart or whatever.
Yeah.
And man, it mixes up clean too, just as clean as the red.
Really?
I love it.
Chewy said he likes triggerfish.
What up,
So
Kenny?
I think triggerfish just
I
eat crap to like a lot of the angels.
had a triggerfish last week jump out of one of our tanks and hit
Jump
the
out
floor
of your
pretty
tank?
hard. Yeah, one of our towers in the middle while my boss, that's not into fish at all, was feeding. I think he just scared it and it just jumped and he was screaming.
Whoops.
He was screaming my name. And yeah, I got my hand wet and was picking it up. He's like, it's gonna bite you. And I'm like, no.
I don't think so. Kenny stopped by. What's up, Kenny? Glad you're here. Skipper stopped back by. Ian said he bought a Gani as an A-can, which I don't even think those are close, are they? I mean, I'm not,
Yeah, I was gonna say, they're not even.
like, they're not even the same shape, are they?
I mean, if you get more expensive stuff for the cheaper price because they don't know the name, that's a good thing
Right.
for you as a buyer.
Yeah, but aren't A-cans more expensive than Ganis?
Not necessarily. Well, it depends. That ultra in front of it.
Right. Call it an ultra rainbow Gani. Boom. There you go.
I want a red and a pink one.
A red
I
and a
want some more Akinados.
More
But they're
what?
so hard to Akinados. They're like giant A-cans. But they're so hard to
Hmm.
Is it an ultra rainbow A-can? A Gani Astria is different, so
Yeah, it's like Favia, like a cruster type of coral, like, brain coral.
but it doesn't look like an A. I mean, is it similar to an A-can or like not even close though?
No. Smaller.
Is it?
A-can usually.
Okay. So, all right, guys. I think I'm gonna call it quits for the night. It's 12:30 here. So it's been fun. Thanks for stopping by, Ian, Priscilla, Anthony, Crowntail, Kenny, everybody.
It's
Tom,
only
thanks for stopping back.
11:30 here.
Oh my gosh, Tom, you're killing me here. Holy crap.
You ain't leaving yet.
I'm just getting ready to leave, and Tom decides he wants to chat. God, isn't it past your bedtime?
No, I'm off tomorrow.
God, that doesn't mean it's not past your bedtime.
But I was like, who's this Tom guy? It's Skippers. I was like, I know that voice.
You guys have a curfew at the old folks' home, don't you, Tom?
Old folks home. Son, I think you're older than me.
How you been, man?
Aren't you like 60?
60, my ass. God. We need to see it. I know Kenny's hanging out here. We need to see if we can talk him into chatting for a few minutes.
Kenny, I haven't talked to Kenny in ages.
If Tom's going to be up here, Kenny might as well be up here.
Bring the Friday night lights up here.
Oh my gosh.
No, he's in the emergency room right now.
Oh no.
What for?
George said he'll go live.
Oh my god.
Why is he in the emergency room?
He's getting his foot looked at.
Well, hopefully things work out for you there, Kenny.
He just had shoulder problems. Now he has foot problems.
Stream all the cute nurses, Kenny. I mean, stream the bandages and yeah.
Right.
What would your channel get demonetized if you're in the emergency room and they start cutting into your, say, your hand or something like that, and you're live streaming it?
How that would
Yeah.
work.
I would think so.
No, I
You
don't
don't
have.
remember that one time I was on Griffin's stream and I had my tattoo was fresh and I had that thing over it, the plastic, and there was like blood underneath the plastic, and his stream got shut down
Oh,
because I
yeah,
showed my
dude.
Really?
tattoo. Yeah.
Wow, that was a long time ago.
That was forever ago. Say hell,
Well,
the
yeah.
four of us haven't been in a stream together in quite some time, like 2 years.
Well, he streams every Sunday night at 10 something. He says he has an infected foot and his ankle looks like it has elephantitis.
So I actually knew a guy that had elephantitis in his nut.
Just one,
Yeah, one of his nuts.
just walking a little
What?
lopsided, huh?
I got a story
pretty
about
funny.
that, but I can't say it live. It didn't happen to me, but
It's like
Just-
not on this stream anyway. Maybe a late night Davo stream or something where there's no rules.
right.
Like back in the day, there used to is the Wild Wild West. Like we'll just delete the stream later anyway.
Davo doesn't stream it.
God, I haven't seen.
Davo alive?
I think the last live Dave went was over a year ago because I was looking at his channel today because I had one of my aquarium thoughts shirts on and I was trying to post a link to his page, but his store is not even up anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I got his stickers.
I've got a stack of stickers downstairs. I'm like, I don't know what to do with them, so they just sit in a stack and I never put them anywhere.
Well, if you have a metal frame or something like that,
Yeah, I've got some of those ones.
then I have the square one. Then where'd the little one go? Oh, there it is. I stole Chattanooga Ed's idea.
And what's that?
I put them on a magnet.
Oh, that's
Now
pretty
that-
cool. How long did it take you to cut magnets out?
Actually, it didn't take long. What's nice is if you don't have it exact and you put it on a black metal thing, you cannot tell.
So, well, I know it's been a while, Skipper, since we chatted, but it's 12:30 here, and I do have to work tomorrow. I know George talked about, he said he'd go live, so he'll entertain you guys for a little bit. But I got to crash. I got stuff to do in the morning. So,
Fine.
All right.
I will catch you guys later. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks to everybody that watched. Thanks for everybody that's going to watch in the future. And hope you guys have a great night. We'll see you.
Good night.